fine. Button still.
There we go. Okay, we're live now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sci-Fi-Vision for January 27th. We have a lot tonight. We're going to start with Runaway since that's the one I've seen. And then night four, it's called a Night of Seven Kingdoms. Night of Seven Kingdoms. I had to look. And Night Manager and Star Trek Starfleet Academy and Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So we got quite a lot going on. But yeah, I'm back tonight. For anybody who saw me come in and break down the beginning of last show that wasn't in the chat and didn't know, I was just having a really hard time because my dog Kiki was really sick and we did have to put her to sleep last week. So it's been hard, but I'm getting through it. So thank you everybody for all your really nice messages. It's greatly appreciated. But at least she's not suffering and she's with my grandmother. So
I met Kiki. She was such a nice little friend.
And scared of everything, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, she was sweet. It's been hard, but yeah, it is what it is. And I like I told you guys when I came in last week, I intended to have her say hello to everybody, and then I just couldn't stop crying. And it figures that the second I got on, but that's okay. All right. Well, we will start with. Let me first all the announcements before we forget.
Yes, announcements.
Yeah, we're going to
wait, stop. Everybody who's watching, you need to click subscribe and like right now.
Yes. Please click subscribe. Please subscribe to Sci-Fi Vision. Click like the video, hype it if you can. It's always appreciated. And we're going to be starting our Wonder Man show. I was trying to look up while we were talking what day it comes out. I think it comes out this week, right?
Tonight.
Today. Okay. So I don't know if that meant we were starting our show tomorrow or the following Wednesday. I guess probably tomorrow then. I will have to get a schedule, but I'll put it up on Discord for everybody to go and check it out. We'll be covering Wonder Man. And then Scarlett and I are going to be covering School Spirit starting next week as well. So everybody can look forward to that. And then the other big thing.
No, wait 1 minute. Wonder Man, we're going to do it's 8 episodes. We're going to cover it in chunks, right? We're going to try to do our show will only be about 3 or 4 sessions. We'll cover like just like maybe 3. It's only half an hour, so maybe 3 episodes, something like that. Oh, is there a watch party? Kimberly's asking, are you going to do a watch party?
If you guys want to have a watch party, we could do it all in like one night or maybe 2 nights.
Personally, I think we should get it over with as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm good with tomorrow. You guys are.
8 episodes, half an hour each. That's only 2 hours per show.
Some people don't have Disney, so a watch party will be there.
Yeah, well, we can do a watch party first, but I'm thinking I don't know that we should do more than 3. I feel like doing half of it's kind of pushing it. So we'll probably do like 3 and 2 or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm fine with tomorrow if you guys are. So everybody just go to Discord for the schedule. And yeah, if we can get a watch party together at some point before then, I'm fine with that. If it's out tonight, maybe we can do it after. I can't do it right after this. I still have to redo my computer, so that's not gonna work.
Perfect.
Hopefully tomorrow, maybe we'll see. We'll see, Kimberly.
Wednesday's my regular happy hour, but it's too cold to go outside of the house. So watch party.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with the snow and everything. So yeah, maybe before we do the live, we can
have what are we gonna watch?
So everybody just go to Discord, join if you haven't, and we'll figure it out and put the schedule in there. So yeah, and then the other big thing I was going to say is that I realized last week that we have hit 1 million views on Sci-Fi Vision.
Oh yeah.
Now that's for live and for the videos. That's for everything, not just the lives.
I don't know how to do like a little. I wish I could put up like on Zoom. You can clap your hands and make the little icons fly and stuff. I can't do that.
Yeah, I think you can on YouTube. Oh, there somebody did. I see little something floating. It was probably, I don't know if it was Kimberly or somebody else, but thank you, whoever put that up. But yeah, we're going to do some kind of party for it, celebratory thing, trivia, maybe some stuff on us. We're trying to, hi, Golden Child, thank you. Thank you, Kimberly. We're trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do for the celebration. Maybe see if we can get a couple guests to either pop in or leave messages. We do have to have a chance to set it up. I would have done it this past week. I would have taken care of it, but with everything going on, I just didn't. So
trivia about our show and ourselves. So listen, those of you who listen carefully.
Yes. We'll definitely be doing something about us. That's for sure, about the show. So everybody stay tuned. And as soon as we have information on that, we will be putting it up. So yay, that's pretty cool. I was really surprised when I saw there was a million views. That's pretty cool. So it took a while to get here, but finally here. And other than that, there's some new interviews up, including the Chris Pratt one I had promised. So, well, I guess I don't think I actually said on air who it was beforehand. It was Chris Pratt, in case you missed that. So check that out, as well as the Star Trek interviews that Karen did, and the Happy Place one that AJ did. And there's some more coming of different things. And also, Karen, I got to email you because we might begin some more Star Trek too. So, well, I'll email both of you. You can decide which one of you wants to do it. But yeah, that stuff will all be coming. Oh, that's right. AJ did another Star Trek one. I forgot. We got one coming too. See, that's how far behind I am with everything. But yeah, lots of good stuff coming up. So make sure you check the video tab out for all our non-live stuff. All right. So we are going to start with Runaway because I have seen that. I watched all 4 today of the last 4 to catch up. So we're good now.
All right.
So what did you guys think? Karen, you sounded like you didn't like it and weren't happy with it.
I feel like there were just a lot of holes in this wrap up of the story. And I just feel like I was like, if I was going to kill people, I would Google them before I tried to kill them, so I would know a few things.
I know where you're going with that,
right? And I feel like a lot of this could have been solved.
You know what? Google might not have told her that answer though.
That they were related, probably not.
No, but she Googled like Simon and sees the video. Dee Dee sees the video of Simon like beating up, what's his name, Colin? Aaron, whatever, ends with an N. But she doesn't find out that he's the suspect in the murder of Aaron, and that like his wife isn't she doesn't find out like any of this.
To be fair, the internet is like, I'm not like, I guarantee like the whole first page is going to be just the videos of him from every person that's ever posted it.
I feel for professional killers, they're very amateur and they're researchers.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, if she found out he was a suspect, she could have just let it go because it would have.
The more we see of them, the worse they get, because like that was, I mean, really, you're going to drive around in Elena's car after you just killed her. Clearly she's somebody important. She's not a nobody.
Yeah.
Like they don't, like, that was just dumb. Like my first thought was, oh my God, they're going to get caught because they're driving her car and they're going to go into town and somebody's going to be like, who's that getting out of Elena's car? And
I guess overall, so I think that these last 2 episodes were like very Harlan Coben with like the twist and then the second twist in the last like 1 minute of the show, always, right?
Were you that surprised by the first twist though?
I wasn't. It was just very Coben. And I think that overall the story was weakened by the intensity of the assassin focus. And if they had like invested less in these characters, I might have like I don't know. It was a side road that didn't really I don't know. I would have liked less character development of these 2 and just like let's say the culture's hired a couple of mafia guys to go around and do it, not to impute, or whoever killers. This was my least favorite part. The Dee Dee storyline was my least favorite part, but it gave us, and I'm disappointed at the lack of Minnie Driver, who goes into a coma in episode 2 and wakes up in episode like 8, right? But other than that, I mean, I think it was pretty standard Harlan Coben, and it is I mean, it's bingeable. I'm not expecting like a Pulitzer Prize winning quality from this show, right? And it's fine for what it is.
Yeah. Right? I think they're overall, I've said before, I think they're overall enjoyable and kind of exciting, I guess, in a way, the way they move if you watch it all together, because I did watch, half of it, the last half at once. But yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't super excited by these twists. I guess because I wasn't that surprised that it was the mother. Usually you don't figure out what's going on, and I don't know.
It's funny, but I suspect, it's funny, Jamie, because last week I started suspecting Ingrid because she hasn't been on camera to question.
Mm-hmm.
because My reasoning was not great, but the result was.
Yeah.
Honestly, I it doesn't happen all the time with Harlan Coben stuff, but I hate when some of the twists. There's absolutely no way you can see them coming. Like it kind of takes the fun of playing along with these type of shows out of it when there's absolutely no way to know that she was in the cult. Of course, right before they revealed it, I started thinking, I wonder if she was in the cult.
I thought that was pretty. I kind of guessed that like probably the beginning of the last episode at least. But I mean, not that I necessarily had reason to think that, but yeah, I figured that.
I mean,
nothing pointed to it. It just I figured that was where they were
going.
I
mean, there was no way to know about Aaron being her son. I mean, there's just certain twists. It's absolutely impossible to figure out. The other stuff with her killing Aaron, yeah, that was you could figure that out. The way
that I looked at it is I figured if Paige wasn't in the cult, then it had to be her mother, just because I figured there had to be some bigger connection to the cult, or like what was the point?
Oh, and that's the other thing. Like I don't understand. Like it's never explained why Ingrid says to Simon, "We have to go back to the apartment." Like I thought maybe she thought she left something behind that could implicate her, so she wanted to go back and check. But like she knew the whole time where Paige was.
Yeah.
And they're running around with these really dangerous people, which ends up getting her shot. Like, and then it's never explained why she felt the need to go back there.
She should have said, no, we can't go there. It's a crime scene. Let's not.
It was her idea.
I know. It's crazy that she would go there. Because she doesn't seem to be like a person who would really want to relive or remember what she's done, right? Like,
it's just like, I feel like the choices were made just for the story, not any logical reason.
The choice was made to show the two twin beds to see if any of us would catch on to that before the end, right? It's in like episode 1 where you see that.
You know what's funny? I noticed 2 mattresses, but the fact that it, with the answer to why there was 2 never crossed my mind.
Yeah, I would have just assumed they had another, drugged out person staying with them.
Exactly.
Anything
exactly. They're serious drug addicts.
Yeah.
So what? There's an extra mattress.
I believe they were.
Yeah, that's when one of their friends come over to crash.
Yeah.
That's how I.
I more question that she never said to people, "It's not my boyfriend," but I guess that would have given away the twist. So they didn't say that. But we do get, like Karen said, a little too much backstory on this whole cult that Dee Dee is part of, or Holly, whatever you want to call her. And that, so I guess the thing was, what we find out at the beginning was that the cult is hiring them to take out these specific people, which we find out later. It's all about the cult leaders' kids, real kids that would have inherited from him, and they didn't want them to, so they were killing them so that only the ones he wanted to inherit would inherit the place. Although I have to ask, is there like a different law in the UK? Because what I didn't understand is, why couldn't he just write the other guys in his will and write everybody else out? Like here in the United States, you can say you're not getting any money, and it doesn't automatically go to somebody when you die.
He didn't have to acknowledge them, right? I guess in the US, you could just write, I want these 2 boys to inherit, and if it turns out I have any other children that I don't know about, they're disinherited. He didn't have to admit that he had them all, right?
Yeah, I think there's a different law in the UK. I could be wrong, but I remember thinking that.
But even in the United States, yes, you can do that, but people can always contest the will, and a judge can decide that for whatever reason it's not valid.
Like because you told all the mothers they were dead and sold them to an adoption agency, that would be a good reason to decide.
That would be a very good reason.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Easier to just.
But usually, usually you could just write who you want in the will for the most part. That's why I was a little confused.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, Jamie. You could still contest the will.
You can contest it. You could.
And then while it's being contested, everything's held up in probate. So the 2 brothers that he wants to control the place, they have no money in the meantime because the courts are holding everything until a verdict is reached.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just easier to kill everybody. It's fine.
There's a whole bunch of other holes in this.
There is.
There's a lot of holes.
let's jump into this because there are holes even in this opening scene here where Dee Dee is getting her marching orders from the cult.
Yeah. That's where I think this is just kind of where we learn more about why that they're telling them that they're to kill these people, and that she's dragged what's his name, the guy Ash into it, and he just wants money.
To me, that's a big hole. Like, how does the cult come to hire Dee Dee? Like, did she just volunteer somehow one day, mention casually that her best friend is a hired killer, and they were like, "Oh, perfect, we need a hired killer." Or were they like, "We need a hired killer. That girl Dee Dee's kind of psycho. Let's ask her to do it." Like,
they need to hire somebody outside of the cult. The other thing is, I didn't quite understand: is she really brainwashed into the cult, or is she was using them? So part of it I thought for a while like she was just using it to get the money, but it seemed like she was completely nuts.
Oh yeah, she's all in. No doubt in my mind.
Because when she talks to Ash, she says things that make sense to me. She's like, I take the parts of it that are helpful to me, and I don't necessarily believe all of it, is what she tells Ash, right? Like it's been helpful to me. She speaks in a very kind of, I thought, rational way about being in a cult, as opposed to most other cult people who are like, oh, he's like speaking for God. And she speaks almost more psychologically than religiously about the cult, right? And
she's nuts.
I know, but she seems the most well-adjusted when she talks about being in a cult.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't 100% part of it.
I would have liked to have seen more with the leader of the cult, simply because I want to understand why all these women thought that sleeping with this guy was a good idea, just because he was the leader of the cult.
I know. Maybe if they had cast like Daniel Craig as the leader of the cult.
I want to see how. Well, the thing is, I want to see how charismatic he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's so cliche that the leader of the cult has sex with the woman in the cult. Like it's in every cult movie, but it's also in a lot of cult stories in the news.
I kept wondering, like, are we going to find out Dee Dee had a kid with them? I thought at least that would have made slightly more sense.
Yeah, but if Dee Dee had a kid with him, that kid would be a baby. Still.
Well, yeah, but I thought like maybe we'd find out
he would have been sold.
That they were dead or whatever, and that she was trying to get revenge or something. I didn't know. It was an idea. Anyway, we also meet this woman who
I don't think she ever has a name. I think she's just like.
I think she did, but it doesn't matter. But so we find out that she has had a child with the leader as well, and that
we find that out at the very end, right?
Okay.
Find that at the very end. We just see her.
Yeah, right now
we warn this
guy, who we find out later is actually her son.
Well, I figured it was. I had a feeling it was her son.
Yes, and feelings, sure, but it's not. I just wanted to be clear that it wasn't technical. It wasn't revealed in the scene, but certainly you probably were like, why would she go and warn this one guy, right?
Yeah,
unless she was going around warning all of them, and we only saw this one. But
we don't know. She did give Ash a note saying not to trust Dee Dee and not to kill the people, but we didn't know yet at this point why she said that. And they're meanwhile burying Elena. I love though how they're sitting on the body, and the jogger goes by and doesn't, or the bike rider, or whatever it was, and doesn't even notice.
It was pretty smart.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. So they bury her, and then they look up who Simon is, and this is where you said like she obviously didn't do a great job figuring out about Simon, because I would think if you thought, hey, he's a suspect in the killing we did, you would like not do anything because that helps you. Why would you kill the suspects? Like that kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Well, the thing is, they didn't kill him.
No, but they intended to. She got permission.
But that's what I'm saying. They hadn't even gotten to him yet. They didn't even know he was dead.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. But see, they Googled Aaron, right? And that's how they come across this video and how they learned about Simon.
But if they Googled Aaron, how did they not see Aaron is dead? Wouldn't that be also a headline?
Wouldn't that be like huge? So AJ, you're correct that if you Google Aaron's name, you would definitely find like this YouTube video as your first return, right? But the fact that this guy was in this video and then turned up dead, I think would be huge news and would come up pretty quick in your Google returns also, right?
I think you have too much faith
in the algorithm.
In our society.
Still,
Yeah.
I feel like that murder would have been front page news somewhere.
The murder, I'm sure she went to page 2. The murder would have been on there, but I guarantee page 1 would have been nothing but the videos.
I guess. All right. Anyway, okay. So, all right. I'll suspend my disbelief there and say that somehow they didn't get the info. And let me qualify my statement. If I was a hitman, I would go beyond the first page of Hulu returns in my.
Now, this is because she's looking up. This is because she's looking up Elena, though. She sees Elena was texting him, and then she Googled it. She Googled Simon.
That's right. She Googled Simon.
Yeah, we're getting mixed up. She Googled Simon, not
Aaron. Googled Simon, and then she still.
Well, that actually makes more sense.
But she finds out that Simon is runs a company with his sister-in-law, and he's a finance guy, and he's rich. Like, she finds out all this, but not that he's been a suspect in a murder.
Well, that wouldn't be in the news.
The story doesn't play out as good if she knows that.
Right. I mean,
yeah, but put in the news somebody's a suspect because people would come after them. They can't.
Jamie, it's in the news all the time that people are brought in for questioning, and they have a lawyer, and the lawyer says he's innocent.
Yeah.
But it's in the news all the time.
Usually they don't put their name in. Usually it's
sure they do. Sure they do.
Listen, this is just for creative license. So
when that guy who killed those kids in Ohio was brought in for questioning, it was all over the news before he was charged.
I guess, but usually when they're not, they haven't charged them yet. They have to be careful so they don't get
at the very least, there would have been an article saying he was a person of interest.
Yes.
Yeah, that maybe I would agree.
That absolutely would be news that he was.
All right, fair enough.
Right. Anyway,
so then we have
Simon. Good story.
Yeah, so then we have Simon who's going with this to see this lab guy and paying lots of money to get him to rush DNA on his kids to know if they're really his kids, which he finds out they are.
Simon is the father.
Yes, you are the father. So he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. And yeah, I feel like that was the part at this point I was a little confused with. Well, more than a little confused. I was like, okay, so how is Paige connected to all this if she's looking up the ancestry information? Like, if she's not related to them because he is her father, then why is she involved? There had to be something going on.
That's kind of another plot hole that's never resolved. Like, why did Paige go on an ancestry website in the first place?
Because she figured out that Aaron was her brother.
Yeah, but I think she figured out he was her brother after she went into the website.
It's because she went on a DNA website and matched with Aaron. But why did she
I could be wrong, but I thought it was because of that club. That teacher introduced her.
No, it started with Henry. Because she was helping Henry. Like they figured out. I think I'm trying to remember the order.
It was my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was my understanding she was talking to that teacher about being a doctor, and she became interested in ancestry, and he had a club to do with finding your ancestry. So she started looking into it, and that was how she found out about Henry. That's how I took it, but it wasn't super explained.
I'm good.
I just, you know what? It was explained a little bit, but I honestly wasn't paying enough attention to remember it now.
I don't feel like it was explained. I feel like, Jamie, your answer is the simplest one, your explanation, and it makes the most sense. I don't think we ever learned.
But I'm also inferring that too.
Yeah, you're inferring it.
Say that.
But I don't think they ever actually say why Paige chose to explore her ancestry. Look, tons of people do it just out of curiosity, right? And maybe that's why.
I don't know. The teacher said something about she was interested in it, but I didn't know if he meant like interested for a reason or just interested because she liked medicine. It wasn't.
And you're not keeping it a big secret if you charge it on the credit card your father is paying for, right?
Yeah, and I kind of wondered, did he never check when he was looking for her? Is that not one of the first things you check? Are there people's credit cards so you can follow the paper trail? I mean, come on. Do you watch any TV?
I think he must have cut her off at some point, because why did she steal her mother's jewelry?
For DNA.
No, I think she stole the jewelry for drugs.
That is stated. She stole the jewelry for the DNA.
No.
Yes.
That's not stated.
Yes,
I
it
didn't
is.
get that out of it. I missed that.
It's literally said. The conversation between Simon and Paige literally says that's why she took the jewelry.
I don't think so. I watched that show today. I rewatched it today.
Yeah, I watched the 4 episodes today. I got what Karen
Jamie, I'm surprised you because you
No,
watched
I
it
took it
all.
the way Karen did too.
No, she never says that. She says her mother told her.
Thank you, Dieter. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's
Oh, and
appreciated.
Dieter, we hope you feel better. Delightful
Yeah, get
Dieter.
better, Dieter. And thank you for
Oh,
all the
I love Delightful Dieter. I'm only going to say this is a joke. We would never actually call you dipshit Dieter, but that's what that's from, right?
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's I think why he put Delightful Dieter is because it's interesting.
I think she just says like she had this argument with her mother and then she stole her jewelry and left. She doesn't say I don't think AJ. I don't want to call you wrong totally, but in my recollection, she doesn't say I stole mom's jewelry so I get DNA off it. And
yeah, because unless it was earrings, you wouldn't get DNA off of it usually. And I think she took a necklace, didn't she?
I think she doesn't need it. She has her own DNA, which shows her to be a match to Aaron, right? It shows they have the same.
That's a good point. Why would she need her mother's
DNA? She has her own DNA and Aaron's DNA in the system.
Yeah, I don't know, AJ. Maybe we missed something, but I don't remember.
Possible. Also, because it's not said, we all made our own inferences. Anyway. This is like a stupid side trip in this show where Simon's like, oh my God, is she cheating on me? Am I their father? And then he's like the father of all of them. Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah. This is where
they're setting it up to look like Minnie Driver's guilty of something, and then like, oh, she's not.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I would also like to know what the whole thing was of why exactly she was meeting with him at his house to begin with. I mean, I get she needed an alibi, but why she went over his house, I don't get. Like, well, they never explained that at all. I don't think.
What? Oh, why she went to Stalker Doctor's house?
Yeah.
Well, she didn't. He lied. It was his alibi. He lied. So she's like, I'm going to go. I need you to cover for me. And she was killing Aaron. And he just lied and said she met him at the apartment.
No, the original alibi said she was at the hospital. He didn't say she was at his house until they proved that alibi was fake.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why he that was a second lie.
That was
but I thought he was supposed to be at his house at some point. Maybe I misunderstood.
Yes, the second alibi was that they met at his apartment. But truly, she was at Aaron's apartment.
Okay, so she was never there. Okay, I didn't get that part then. I
think she was never at his apartment at all. I don't know. It's never explained. I don't think he knew she was going to kill someone. I think he just knew he was.
No, yeah, he didn't know that.
He's like, you're my friend for a long time. Can you just cover for me? I can't tell you why. I think is like it's never comes out, but I think he didn't know.
I also kind of feel though, like if you have a friend and you're covering for them, as soon as you find out there's a murder. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. If you guys get me to cover for you and I find out somebody's murdered, I'm turning you in. Sorry.
He's like, Jamie, I need you to cover for me, but don't tell anybody. I can't tell you why. And then like the next day, AJ's next door neighbor is dead.
Yeah, I'd be like, sorry.
Or mine. I'm not saying only AJ.
He's in love with her.
He's in love with her. He is. Clearly in love with her.
That. All right. So Elena sends him a message, which is really from
Elena.
Yeah, and she writes it in a way that sounds really fake. And he's immediately suspicious, which I appreciated. He, kind of right away was like, what's going on? And he talks to Lou. And she tells him she's worried because she hasn't been able to get a hold of her either. And she talks about how she went to see the girlfriend, Stephanie, and I don't know if she says here or she says later the cops, but Stephanie was in another country. So I kind of wondered, Dee Dee was not really Stephanie. That was just, she totally pretended to be.
Yeah.
But what we do find out, and I don't think we find it out here, but I'm just throwing it out since we're talking about it, is that woman that she was going to meet her girlfriend or trying to, she set up all these illegal adoptions between the cult.
I think her name is Allison, maybe, right?
Yeah, Allison.
Yeah, Allison.
I don't understand her thing to Elena saying, "Oh, I was just helping these kids." Like that was some bullshit. They weren't like in. I thought that we were going to find out that they were in like some really abusive situation or something, and that was why they got adopted out. So yeah, I don't know why she agreed to help them at the cult, but unless she was a part of it,
I assume they paid her a lot of money.
Well, yeah, there's that, I'm sure, but. So at the hospital, let's see, sees the kids. I think this is where he tells them that the teacher wasn't sleeping with his daughter. that was all fake. And we had kind of surmised that might be the case, that girl was making shit up.
And because he's her dad, he says they weren't in a relationship because he can't bring himself to say they weren't sleeping together.
They weren't having sex. Yeah. And they believe him right away. I'm surprised they weren't kind of like, are you sure? And then Cornelius comes and he's like, we got to go. Rocco has information for you. You got to get lots of money. And then he's like, damn it, I just gave all the money for the DNA test is basically what happened, you know? But he's going to get some more and he's going to get it off.
This is at least the third person he's paid off in this.
Yeah. And this time he takes the money from his sister-in-law. She helps him get the money together. And then meanwhile, they're looking for Simon. They're arguing about, are they going to kill him or not? That's not really.
Not for nothing. The sister-in-law stuck her nose in everybody else in the family's business and helped them all out. So the least she could do is give Simon some money.
I agree.
Yeah. Actually, this is kind of an interesting scene because this is where like Ash is like, let's not kill this guy, and Dee Dee's like, we have to kill him, and Ash is like, let's just stick to the plan, and then Dee Dee's like, no, I'm going to ask the cult for permission to kill him, and I feel like this was a big foreshadow, as if we didn't have enough already that Dee Dee is going to get Ash killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been saying that for weeks.
The thing is, I don't think Ash gave a shit who they killed. He just didn't want it to become complicated more than anything.
He doesn't want to get caught. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he doesn't want to get caught. Yeah, you're right, JD. If it gets complicated, then people might come after you.
Yeah. And that's why I'm kind of saying, like, if they had investigated things better and found out Aaron was already dead, it would have been like, well, there that goes. We don't have to do that. You know, it would have been a lot simpler. But of course they didn't.
Just going to your second page of Google results and the two of them would still be alive.
Yeah, look up Aaron.
But then the story wouldn't have played out the way it did.
Yeah, you're right.
And we wouldn't have gotten to watch the old lady throw Dee Dee over the rail.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, when she did that, I was like, yes.
Yeah, I said right away. I said I did not see that coming. That was the one thing I did not expect.
I guess we'll get to it in a second. So
Lou comes, tells the cops what's going on. She's worried about Elena. So they go to see Henry's father and find out some more information, including the fact that Henry was going to meet a woman, which I have to say, I right away thought it's got to be his real mother, right? Because he was looking at an ancestry site. Who else is it going to be? That's where she gives him the money. So yeah, I thought that was pretty obvious what was going on there. And I was
Victoria, Veronica.
I think that was kind of obvious.
Victoria.
Yeah. They're having dinner. They're still arguing about what they're going to do, who they're going to kill. He's telling her she needs, the cult isn't right for her. She's saying she'll leave the cult for him, which I don't think she had any intention of doing, but she's using him as well. And that's kind of what that's about.
I love when he says, but who will I be with, Dee Dee or Holly?
Yeah. And she got kind of there. Yeah. She's a little cray cray. So then here's their
portrait. More cray cray.
Sons, yeah. And this is where we do get confirmation that Aaron was definitely the intended target, not Paige, because for a while we weren't entirely sure that it wasn't both of them. It was never cleared up until.
Well, I mean, once we figure out what the targets were.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's that necessarily they were all men. They were all children.
Well, they
I don't
know.
They were all children.
Women can inherit property too, I'm sure.
No, the point is they were all children of the cult leader.
Yeah, but there could have been female children of the cult leader too.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there were. But my point is, Paige wasn't.
Only boys can inherit. Is
that true? That isn't true now.
Under the cult, women are less important than men, and only sons could inherit. And
right. But he's already choosing who's he's inheriting. I'm saying if you're killing people so they don't cause a stink about the inheritance, wouldn't you go after the women too?
Actually, Jimmy, you're right. This is a very misogynist show because
I just kind of assumed there was no female.
Like 10 or 20 daughters also be like, hey, we want some.
Probably would have been. I thought it was going to turn out that Dee Dee was one of the kids. Honestly, that was where I was going with it.
Yeah,
but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I thought maybe she's actually is screwing them, and that this is all because with his stuff you expect some kind of twist. I thought I bet that she is against the cult and she's the half sister, but I was wrong. All right, so they find out everything going on. We talked about this. More of that. So this is now they know about the cult from that woman because she tells them how they took her baby and told her that it was stillborn and she never knew that he was alive, but she found out I don't remember how she found out. I know the brothers were looking up their DNA and they found out there was more than one of them, but it was one of her children. So he was killing all his kids so they couldn't contest anything. And now they know about the cult and where it's at.
In this shot that you just had up, I think this is where Ruby, right? Her name is Ruby. She says to Isaac, she says, "Do you think Paige could be connected to Paige? Agreed to be connected to this?" And he's like, "No way." He has no instincts. Like Ruby's instincts are right on, and Isaac's instincts are like no.
Yeah, she's a much better cop.
Although it's interesting also how their relationship is not any part of these 2 episodes. There's no flirting. There's no anything like that. Also, to me, it was like an unnecessary thing.
She's also pissed at him.
She is, but it seems to be a largely inconsequential nothing that was shoehorned into the show for what reason, I don't know.
Well, not for nothing. You want to talk about inconsequential nothing. The whole thing with Elena's step family.
Yeah, also
killing Elena completely made that storyline pointless.
Yeah. Sad, very sad for Lou, but ultimately pointless. Yes.
Yeah, I did like Elena though, and I was really surprised when they killed her. I'm like, no, she's the best character. Don't kill her.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. How it was so out of character for her to be that stupid.
Yeah. She should have done more than send Lou a picture of the license plate. Like, send a picture where you're at. Take a picture of the area. Text her. This is where I'm at.
Last week we talked about never let them move you to a second location. It's like a rule that we, especially as women, are always taught. Like, don't let somebody take you to another location. And that's Elena willingly goes to another location.
Yeah. Like, at least have a secret gun or something, right? Like, don't. I'm surprised she didn't have a gun with her or some kind of weapon. To be honest, she was a cop.
Go would be the main thing, right?
Well, no, but I mean, I figured she had like a.
Yeah, but you gotta remember this UK show. Even cops don't have guns.
Even cops don't have guns in the UK. People do not get guns in the UK.
The only people that have guns in the UK are the bad guys.
The really bad guys. Most police do not carry a gun in the UK, and it's really hard for regular citizens to carry a gun, I think.
Did not realize that. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
we're just showing ourselves as Americans who assume everybody has a gun all the time.
Yeah, because I assume she has a weapon, and I'm like, why is she not?
In the UK, most cops carry a gun, which we'll come to. That's why at the end of the show, when Bentley has that confrontation with the head of the Shining Truth, he takes out a baton, not a gun. He doesn't have a gun in that last scene. They don't carry guns.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're right. I just was making jokes about a wand. So, all right. So anyway, they have conversations. He does find out here, which this was sad to find out that like the aunt knew everything. And not only that, but even the mother did. And he's the only one that didn't know. Like, nobody gave him a chance to see how he reacted. Nobody told him.
Nope.
And the meanest thing, I think the meanest thing, like, I understand they didn't tell him about her being raped, which I still think they should have, but I get it. But like the fact that his wife didn't even tell him that his own daughter was safe and he's busy hunting for her, that's so different.
That's different. This whole thing where Simon is like so outraged that he didn't like Paige didn't tell him that she was raped. AJ and I talked about this last week about like, I mean, we had different opinions on it, but I really felt like I can see why a young girl might not tell her father and how women carry a lot of shame from sexual assault, even if it's not their fault. It's a thing, right? And also, like, it's Simon. He absolutely would go freaking ballistic. Maybe she couldn't deal with that with her own, right? Like
my problem stems from the fact that
himself.
When we talked about this last week, I was going under an assumption my assumption was correct. So the aunt doesn't tell Simon, but tells Ingrid, who Paige went to the aunt in confidence, and then she tells her mother, but not her father. You know what I mean? Like, you can't pick and choose in that type of situation, and that's what pissed me off because because the way that it was being portrayed, I had a feeling that Ingrid knew. And then Paige does talk, and then Paige, finds out that her mother knows and does have a conversation with her mother, but for the aunt to be like, oh, well, I'll tell her mother, but not her father, that's where it's fucked up. Maybe just don't tell anybody. Maybe actually stick to your word. Because it's 50-50. Like, stick to your word and don't tell anybody, or tell both of them.
Okay, yes. So Auntie was asked not to tell anyone, and if she'd not really told anyone, but she did tell Ingrid. Paige didn't tell Ingrid.
Right.
Auntie told
Exactly.
Ingrid. I get that. Because I was going to say, AJ, so Jamie and I aren't parents. You are parents. And if one of your children came to you with something really big and serious and said, don't tell mom or don't tell anyone.
Well, that's a different story, too.
Yes. I don't mean for your specific experience with your kid's mom, but I mean in general, as a parent, do you get that being like, oh, my child asked me not to tell, so I won't tell?
I get them saying don't tell, but I feel like
not a 6-year-old child, a 19-year-old child, right? Like who says like, please don't tell anyone. Would you keep that or would you tell the other parent? And I don't mean
yes,
your co-parent, AJ. I mean a co-parent.
Yes.
You would tell. You would be like, oh, by the way, our child was arrested or assaulted. Not arrested. You'd have to tell if they're arrested. But I don't know. I really feel like in this case of a sexual assault, for her to go to her female figure, her aunt, and tell her somebody she feels safe with and to confide that and beg her not to tell that, yes, of course she's not going to tell Simon. I agree that she should not have told Ingrid. She was asked to keep confidence and she told Ingrid. And
I don't know. See, I kind of disagree with that, but I'm not a parent. I feel like something like that should have been told. Like, I understand she went to a female parent.
That's what my big gripe is. My big gripe is if you're going to tell Ingrid, you need to tell Simon too.
Really?
That's my problem.
Simon has demonstrated that he flies off the handle.
No, I'm not disputing that part of it. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is the aunt either keeps her mouth shut or tells both of them.
Okay. That's fair. I get that. Yes. Can't keep your mouth shut or tell both of them. But she told her sister and let her sister decide whether or not she should tell her husband. Like, I could get that also, right? Like,
which also makes it wrong on Ingrid's part.
It's wrong on Ingrid's part. Like, Ingrid has information. Look,
they're both wrong.
So much information by the next hour and a half. Like Ingrid has withheld so much information, right?
Yeah.
Like, and some that's worth withholding, and some that's not worth withholding.
Yeah.
Like, kill someone, yes, withhold that. I was once in rehab. Like, you don't tell your husband of like 20 some years that you were once in rehab.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's okay. You know what? People, that's understandable. I mean. It was long before they were together. People always don't tell everybody about this.
I don't think it's a thing. I guess I just don't feel like it's a thing to hold shame for 20 some odd years. And it would be nice to tell your husband about it.
It's not so, to me, it's not so much that she didn't tell him she was in rehab. It's the fact that she let him think their daughter was missing.
Yes.
And also the police do that too. He goes to the police and she doesn't say, wait, she's not really missing. I mean, let's
hold on that for a second. We're talking about the assault, and Kelly has two things here. So the aunt was telling her sister versus a bill. I can see through.
See that though. I'm not sure what that was supposed to be.
I did though. So it was telling her sister versus a bill. The aunt was telling her sister versus Simon. I get that. It's her sister, right? And
brother-in-law. Yeah, brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah, brother-in-law. Yes,
brother-in-law.
The sister was telling her, she was telling her sister to her brother-in-law. I can see that through. I mean, I get it. Actually, for me, so I have a brother. If my niece came to me and told me something like this, I would tell my sister-in-law, not my brother. I would tell the mother, not the father. Being a woman and knowing what that means to go through this situation, I would tell the female parent. I would not maybe tell the male parent.
I can kind of see that, but I think it was his wife's responsibility to tell him. That's how I feel.
Yes, yes. So Kelly thinks, yes, her sister can make that decision to tell her husband. So I was arguing that.
Right, and I understand your argument. Here's my question. If your niece came to you and said, don't tell my parents, do you still tell your sister-in-law or do you keep it to yourself?
No, because my niece now is 17. If she was 12, 13, 14, 15, she's 17 now. Paige was 17, 18 at least when this happened. And so I think the age of the person who's asking you to keep this confidence makes a difference. Do you remember she must be 18 because do you remember there was a whole part earlier in this show where the college, is it earlier or does it come now where the college is like, yes, we have a policy of not like telling the parents for the privacy of the students, and I think it's different than it is in American colleges, but you know, we don't like reveal. We're not going to call the parents if the student chooses not to report. Right? Wasn't that in this at some point earlier or whatever?
One of the episodes.
So that Paige didn't want to report it, and so the college didn't report it. Now I think in America the colleges are required to report a crime whether or not it to happen. Right? No, they're not.
No.
You have kids in college, so you know better than we do.
Yeah, no. I mean, they are legal adults, and parents don't matter.
In this situation, yeah. So
I still think she should have told her husband, though. That I think is not okay.
I mean, but she didn't tell her husband so many things. She never told her husband so many things that we learn later, right?
Yeah. I mean, the rape aside, the important thing is that Simon is searching for his daughter frantically, going insane, beating up people, and she's in fucking rehab, and Ingrid knows it.
Well, more than once. She's paid for, we learned that she's paid for rehab at least twice, and she's never told James that the kid was in, Simon, that the kid was in rehab. His real name is James, that Simon doesn't know that she's in rehab. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. It's like, yeah. And I feel like earlier, the part where Minnie Driver was alive was not in a coma for like one episode. They're established as a pretty strong and great couple.
Yeah.
And like, he has no, in fact, their whole life is lies, right? Like, she never says she's been in a cult. She never says she's been in rehab. She never says she had another kid. These are like huge things you don't tell your partner.
Yeah. All right. So then we have Bonnie and Clyde here, who are going to
Bonnie and Clyde
going to kill Aaron, who's already dead. So you realize at a certain point here that, like, wait, we thought they killed them. You're supposed to think that. I don't think that I ever thought they killed them. I mean, maybe
we know they haven't gotten to him yet. We saw. Remember? So Jamie, you weren't here last week, but AJ and I were talking about. There's a scene in the previous couple of episodes where Cuckoo Dee Dee is flicking through pictures on her hit list, and that picture of Aaron and Paige is in the hit list. And you're like, wait a minute, Aaron's on the hit list. So
yeah, we knew that.
So they don't have any idea that he's already dead when they come here, right?
Yeah, I assumed they had already crossed him off the list, at least at the beginning. But I think
that's what you're supposed to think.
Clear. But I think by the middle of the show, it was pretty obvious that they didn't do it. Because
I actually last week, then when I started suspecting Ingrid in the first place for stupid reasons, but they panned out. I started realizing like there's no point to the story if they did kill him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they'd only Googled him, they wouldn't be here right now.
You are correct. But they did not.
But they'd also be alive, so it's good that they didn't.
There's that too, yeah. So they come in and, ooh, he's dead. Whoops, they got to him ahead of time. And see, that's where, in my opinion, the smart thing would have been like, whoops, now we don't got to do it. Like, I would have just been like, okay, problem solved. Not went after Simon, but, you know. They do find out that, or they think they're going to go after, they think they need to go after Simon, which they don't. And again, if they had Googled, they would have known this. Simon is coming with the money to give to Rocco, and they're like, oh, perfect timing and place. We'll just kill him while we're here. So they follow him. He goes in to talk to Rocco, who tells him that he saw her get on a bus, or somebody saw her get on a bus. And he gets the money from them, but they're hiding in there, getting ready to pop out. And Luther, who's been let out of prison, or not let out of prison, let out of custody, whatever. He comes in and catches them, and so they're also shooting at each other.
That's twice that Luther has shown up in opportune time.
Yeah, I think it has some bad luck, right?
Yeah. Well, he starts shooting. Everybody starts shooting. I love
the part of this whole thing where I love the part of this where Simon has agreed to pay £60,000, and he's like, it's 100 short, and Rocco is like losing his shit about that.
I would have been like, dude, it's $100. Get over it.
I know, right? You're getting 60,000. Oh, I'm only getting $59,900. Oh my God, I'm so mad about it. And
although I kind of wonder, that was an odd thing to say because I know there's like a limit, but is it really like right under 60? I figured if anything, it would have been under 50.
no, he said what Simon says is if you hit a round number, it triggers the system.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that.
So 60 would trigger something, but 59.9 wouldn't. I don't know if that's real. I'm not a banker. I don't know, right? But it seems to make some sense. Although it's kind of stupid, it really is only in the story as a delaying tactic to allow Ash and Dee Dee to like.
Yeah, because I would also question that he's clearly got money. He couldn't have went and found $100 to add into the stash. Like
he has $100 in his wallet, right? Like, come on.
Just added it.
Yeah. No, because he just paid the. He paid
them the money he got from the closet.
The DNA guy. He had to pay the DNA guy. He had the earlier payoff to the guy that told him Paige was busking. Like, he's made a lot of payoffs. If he doesn't have $100.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
Bang, everybody there is a shootout, and it ends up that.
Were you guys surprised when Ash gets shot here?
No.
Because
end of the show.
We knew Dee Dee was going to get.
We knew they were going to die.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, my mouth is hurting. All right.
I love that Dee Dee goes full on insane right now.
Yeah, and they're able to get away just because she wastes all this time standing there screaming, which I thought was kind of funny. But
I did feel like they should have grabbed the backpack, which is never seen again. Like the 60,000 is left in that backpack on the floor, and Simon
like, it's our sister-in-law's money. I don't care.
But Dee Dee goes fully insane, wow. And look, the way she's running around and screaming and shooting, there's no way that she will not eventually be shot and killed by the police, captured, right? But she has just lost her shit over Ash's death, right?
Yes.
And become the psycho that we know she is.
Yes. And then here, I thought this is a really bad plan. Simon's like, you hide, because he's been shot. But you know what? He's the one that knows how to use a gun, who's supposed to be a really good shot. And I'm thinking, you're telling him to hide. You don't tell him to give you the gun. Like, I would have at least either A, had him come with you, or B, told him to give you the gun. I thought that was kind of dumb. But anyway, he's
and you run upstairs on all the levels where you cannot escape, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, splitting up, I think, was a good choice. But Simon clearly did not know what to do with himself after that.
Yeah, he should have run down the street, not up the stairs.
But if he hadn't gone up the stairs, then Dee Dee doesn't falter.
I know. Yep.
Yeah. So she chases him. He gets shot in the back, almost dies. But then this woman shows up and pushes her off the balcony, and yay, she dead.
So this lends us to believe that this woman, the cult woman, has actually been going around trying to save not only her son, that she's trying to save other people. And I guess, is she tailing Dee Dee? Like, why does she? It's like very Deus Ex Machina that she shows up at the right moment at the right time, right? I guess she's been following Dee Dee somehow.
I guess. And my other question is, which one was that guy that you went to see? Was he one of the ones we knew that was missing?
No.
I didn't know.
No, we never.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
We never seen him before.
Okay.
So I think she's been going around trying to thwart Dee Dee, and I don't know how she showed up at the right place. Like, that's never explained at all, that she just shows up out of nowhere at the right moment. But I guess somehow she followed Dee Dee, maybe? Because why would she know anything was happening, right? Like,
yeah, you're right. All right, next episode.
Oh my God.
Sorry about that. Oh, my mouth is killing me. Okay. So they take him away. He's like, leave the cop a message. I have information on Paige. And they're, trying to help them. So they do look, but they also go to the compound. This part confused me a little bit. I don't know if it's just the way it was shot, because I go in order and I'm like, okay, so they're arresting the people in the compound there. Why are they having this conversation in here now? Was that like
I don't think they're arresting them all. I think they're rounding them up. They're not all guilty of a crime.
Okay, they're rounding them up. But my point is why were they rounding them up and then they went to them explaining what they were doing? I was confused if that was supposed to be a flashback.
It was. They were doing that whole thing where they do both things at the same time, the before and the present.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
It's like it's like in Stranger Things when they were telling how they were gonna, their plan while they were, and then they would show us the plan in action. I mean, go back to showing.
I figured. It was weird the way they shot it. But anyway, they go in, they grab the people, grab everybody, and this is where he finds there's a hidden room, and he sees that guy in there, and he got his wand. I'm like,
his wand
because he doesn't have a gun.
His wand to beat him with.
I was gonna say, I don't know AJ if AJ gets the joke.
I get it, Harry Potter. I got it.
I didn't know if you did. I was like, sure. Like AJ might not know. All right. So yeah, he threatens to off himself, and he
because men like me don't die in prison.
Don't die.
I am a king.
Right?
No, he says they don't get arrested. They don't go to jail.
This whole thing was ludicrous. Like it was very James Bond villain that he's like, oh, let me hold my little cyanide capsule in my hand and make a big speech and blah blah blah. Like if he really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
If he wanted to do it, why did he do it? Like, what was the point of having a conversation with the cop who's trying to arrest you? Oh,
you're right. It's like the villain has to explain their plan, right? That's just the way it is.
Yeah, the villain has to explain their plan. And it was kind of like, why would he not have already done that while he was hiding in there? Or why would he not do it immediately? Like, I guess CIA
he didn't do it immediately because he was hoping they weren't going to find him.
Once they did, he's like, I'm a king, I'm a cult leader, blah blah blah. He basically it's very typical of, again, a Bond villain to
he had a
confess everything and make a speech right before you do that, and then of course he gets arrested instead. It was very I didn't love that scene because I felt it was contrived and trite, but I guess it does it work for the show because this is Harlan Coben and it's the thing. And this is what villains do in stories like this, right? They make a big speech and that's how they always get caught. Like if villains would just shut the hell up and just do it, they would never get caught or they would die as they intend.
Yeah. I agree.
It was
I
was
like,
and he's like, got this little pill. The whole time he's like, got this pill and he's like, ooh, holding it like it's whatever, right?
Yeah, it's not like he's got a dead man's trigger or something, you know.
Yeah, he's got a little pill. And he has no water, so he can't be like and take
that
it
too. He's gonna dry swallow it. He expects it to not stop him, but yeah. All right, so they find out from this woman that there's somebody in the box. I don't remember what they called it, but it's the box.
They call it the container, which it is.
And it is not Paige, which was not surprising. They're like, I'm sorry, we're still looking for your daughter. We believe now you're not the killer, blah, blah, blah. The thing that confused me a little bit, that to me didn't make sense, is so he tells the cop that woman was there, but yet says the girl fell. Like,
no, he doesn't tell them the woman. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because the cop says to him, if she comes back, you tell me.
Yes.
You see her. And then the woman's like, thank you for saying she fell. Well, then,
oh my God, Jamie, you're so right. Yes, that is such a huge hole in the plot.
I'm like thinking, why did he bother saying at all she was there if he was going to say she fell? Like, just say she fell.
Back, please call us. And he's like, okay, I will. And then she's like, thank you, she fell. Like, so why would you say there was a woman there, but then Dee Dee fell? What?
Yeah, they would have talked to her. They would have asked her questions. It just didn't make sense.
Well, they would have asked him a lot more questions. Yeah, it makes no sense at all.
Yeah, but we find out she's one of the mothers and that she wants to go off and continue the cult in the right way. And of course, he doesn't say anything to that, which I'm kind of like, really? Okay.
Did you pick up on that, AJ, that she said, like, he says, oh, that woman was here, and then he says, oh, but she fell?
No, I did not.
Until I didn't really I mean, I watched it twice, but I didn't really pick up on it that much until Jamie just pointed it out.
I don't know. I thought that right away. I thought,
she thanks him for not telling anybody that she was there.
No, she thanks him for saying that she fell, because right before that, he tells the cop says to him, if she shows up, let us know. That's what didn't make sense. It was like contradictory.
And then this woman says, thank you for telling them that she fell.
So why would
I was there and I was a witness, but that I didn't do it, I guess.
Okay, so then it makes perfect sense.
I guess, but why would the police ever stop looking for her? I don't.
Yeah,
I,
or why
I guess
would
they
you
would because
not
they
mention her at all?
would.
I just am more
Who
kind
Who
of
cares
Yeah.
at
Like,
this point?
all right. So he's waiting for his wife to
by
wake
the
up.
way, is this the scene where Simon's lying in the bed and they tell him that Elena died? Which I thought.
I think that's later. I think
Okay.
no, maybe that is
Right.
now. It might be now because it
I mean,
shows the body in a few.
He was so good in that little like throwaway little scene. It just reminded me how James Nesbitt is by far the best. He's the best actor in, like, I just so many times thought his acting was so good. I don't know if he's like by far the best actor or he just outclasses everyone else, or the other big name actress Minnie Driver is barely
In a coma.
over the whole time. But I thought
Minnie Driver's a good actress, but she wasn't in it very much.
James Nesbitt was so natural and so believable in almost every scene that he was in, really.
Yeah, he became friends with Elena, and he's upset to find out that she's gone. And then this is where he's again looking for his daughter that he doesn't know is okay.
I think he's going around the town like, so Rocco had told him your daughter took a bus to such and such a place. And I think he's going around that town, right, AJ?
Yeah.
Is that where he is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, when he told the cops this, they knew it was near that compound. That was why they looked there. But obviously she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So they tell Lou about her daughter-in-law.
Poor Lou. I felt so bad for Lou.
Lou never did get to meet that woman.
Lou really loved Elena a lot. She loved Elena.
Yeah, she did. So here's my question too with that. So Elena's husband helped a woman get pregnant, didn't tell his wife, and then his wife couldn't get pregnant, so then he couldn't tell his wife.
That's
okay.
Or
was it the opposite order that his wife couldn't get pregnant, and then when his friend asked to help have a baby, he's like, "Sure, I just won't tell my wife." Either way, it was awful.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
AJ, go, AJ. Explain, AJ.
No, Jamie, she got it right the second time.
Yeah, okay. That his wife couldn't get pregnant, so when his best friend asked him, "Can you help me get pregnant?" he's like, "Yeah, I'll donate the sperm, but I can never tell my wife because it will hurt her too much." But in the end, did it hurt Elena more that he did it or that he kept it from her? I don't know. Like, here's another point of this show of like spouses not talking to each other.
Yeah.
And like, really, should dead husband have talked to Elena and been like, "Listen."
Yeah, but it should have been a decision they came to together.
Yes, Jamie. Yes.
The thing is you don't even know. She might have not had a problem with it, or maybe they could have, like, I don't know. Like, the thing is
doesn't matter. They're both dead.
Inseminating or something. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so then he finds his daughter is at the hospital. She just magically showed up. Yay, she's alive. He's like, "Where have you been?" And she's like, "Oh, I've been in rehab this whole time." And yeah, Mom knew about it.
This is very annoying. This is very annoying.
It is. I knew something was up. I, at this point, thought that this was a lie. And I was like, all I was thinking is, you better drive that girl all the way to rehab. I thought he was going to, like, drop her off near the rehab or something.
Well, he did in the end, yes.
I got to go back. I know. But the way they did it, I thought that it was going to go that she wasn't really at rehab and she made that up. But that wasn't the case. It was just really bad writing, in my opinion. Or though maybe, I don't know, maybe you were supposed to think that. Like, I'm saying it's bad writing. Maybe they wanted you to think that is a better thing. But either way, I was like, really? And then we find out here.
She shows up. She's like, "Oh, I just heard about it. Nobody knew that. Come on. Nobody in the whole rehab knew that this was happening with her family and blah, blah, blah." And like,
yeah, she's like, "They told me at the rehab. My mom was in the hospital randomly." Yeah, it was weird. It was done weird. But either way, this is where he tries to ask her if she killed Aaron or not. And at first she says she killed Aaron. And then she admits she didn't kill Aaron.
She's like, "I'm your father. I know you couldn't kill Aaron."
Yeah. And it was
because he's Ingrid's husband and he didn't know she couldn't kill Aaron.
The part that I found a little bizarre is he gets his daughter to tell him that his wife did it. Like, he's figured it out, right? He gets her to confirm it. But then when she confirms it and says, "And then I knew Mom did it," he's like, like, what was the point of being the surprise there? Like, you just got her to confirm it. Why were you surprised at that point? that was weird to me, the way they did that scene. But either way, yeah, she figured out that her mom must have done it. And I guess the thing is, Cornelius threw the weapon away because he thought she did it.
Yes.
He still liked the girl. And
yeah, Cornelius thought she did it, which is supposed to make us think she did it, which is how I knew she didn't do it.
Exactly. And then the mother wakes up.
That previous shot was Elena's funeral, right?
Yeah, Elena's funeral, which they all came.
It was really sad where they show her body being discovered and they play that really sad song. And but it was a lot for a character who in the end was nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't really part of the story. All right, so then he goes off with his wife, and she figures out that he knows, and he admits, because his daughter's like, don't tell her we know, which, yeah, you can't really keep that. So yeah, he knows that she killed Aaron, and he's more like not so much surprised that she killed Aaron to protect their daughter, because the thing is they both, the daughter said and the mother said, that basically every time she got away from the drugs, he pulled her back. And that she knew she would never get better if he wasn't gone. So that's her reasoning for killing him.
I guess.
So if obviously it doesn't fit with the character, but if that's me, walking down the path hand in hand. So when were you going to tell me you killed Aaron? That would have been me.
Yeah. His thing was more, though, not so much that shock that she killed him, but like, how could you do that and not be affected by it? And how could you do it in the way you did? And she's just like, oh, there was a gang killing, so I copied it.
Well, he's like, when did you decide to do it? She's like, the minute I heard that he beat the shit out of her. But I think that she only learned, she killed him like one day later, right? Like, it wasn't like she'd been thinking, like, he's like, when did you think of it? And she's like, oh, that day. Like, she actually didn't think about it for a long time. Like, I feel like this is another plot hole where it's implied that she's a cold-blooded planner, but she actually planned it right away. Like, when Paige tells the story, to me, it sounds like it was only like a day or two before her mother came and killed him, right?
Yeah, but it was still planned. But either way, he's like, how could you do it and just it like not affect you? It was kind of the way he says it and the way she did it.
I'm glad I did it. I'd do it again.
Yeah, and she's like, there was a gang killing like that, so I just copied it. And my friend covered for me. And she actually sat down and had tea with the guy first, which was like awful. And worse when we find out who he is. I did think, though, throwing the stuff away in the medical waste was really smart. Like, that was cool.
Oh my God, that just happened on General Hospital this week, where somebody like gave somebody a injection and then threw it away in the medical waste in the hospital.
Well, I don't want to. So yeah, he's not happy with his wife there.
Well, she's not, because she's very cold-blooded, right? She's not.
Like if he felt guilty about it or felt bad, maybe he wouldn't have felt quite the way he did. And then he's like,
at all bad that she took a human life. Like, she values his life so little. They both do really value Aaron's life very little compared to their daughter. And I get that Aaron was not a good influence, but he was an addict and had a bad life, and like that's not an excuse. And also Paige coerced him into like beating this guy almost to death, and right.
I do feel like Simon has a different feel about Aaron once he learns everything. You know
yeah, I kind of felt like he would stop hating him, because I mean, he beat up the guy that raped his daughter. I mean, he can't completely hate him.
Well, because Aaron
beat
up Paige's assailant, right?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he definitely has a different outlook on Aaron at the end, whereas, of course, he has more information.
Ingrid sees him as only a net evil. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I'm not sure what prompted him to want to go look for the pictures. I don't know if he just remembered something about it, but this is where he's
because the whole rehab thing, when he finds out that she had been in rehab before they met and she never said anything about it.
Yeah, and he's like, I need the pic. Oh, yeah, okay. And he's like, I need the pictures from that time. I see.
Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie. Welcome.
Everybody. Is it still so cold?
Everybody check out Julie B Deep Dive Show. And I know Scarlett, I think they have a show. I don't know what day your show is. I never know what day it is. I'm sorry. I don't even know what day today is. It's Tuesday. Their show with Doug, I know, is coming up. But everybody check out Julie's channel. I lost track of what I was saying.
So,
Yeah.
well,
So he, like, show me the pictures from this time. Right.
Well, he has like a revelation. He goes to find those photographs because this is where he's getting the idea about. I guess you're right. This is a plot hole, but he remembers photos that he's seen in the past. Like, basically, he remembers the cult photos, right? Like he.
Yeah,
also,
I think
he's
trying to hide
like so many photos from that time period.
If you're trying to hide that you were ever in a cult, why do you have those photos in your family? Like, wouldn't you destroy all those photos like that? And she's pregnant in that photo, right? Like, why are those photos
with the cult symbol behind in the background?
Yeah, I'm not sure why that photo would tell him anything other than, I mean, now he knows about the cult, maybe, but like you're saying hide those photos. Why would she? Because she wouldn't know anything about.
Well, because she's pregnant before she ever met him. That's why she's pregnant in that photo before she ever met him.
Which,
right.
He's seen these photos before, right? So he had to have known that.
I don't know why he like didn't like, or maybe he didn't see it, but he's like, why did my wife act so weird when she saw these photos? You're right. It's a big.
Oh, that's right. He said something like he went to look for a photo and she flipped out or something. I forgot about that.
Yeah. He said it's her old modeling photos. And when I looked at them, she flipped. It's not a very clear part of dialogue, and it's not really clear how it happens. It's a bit of one of these like Harlan Coben, let's make it happen because it's part of the twist, right?
Yeah. All right, sorry.
So he finds a photo of her pregnant with the Shining Truth logo in the background, right?
Yeah. And then he comes out and he talks to his daughter, and this is where he finds out, because he already knew, or not finds out, he already knew that she knew since she had been digging into the genealogy. This is where he reveals that when Aaron killed that guy, or not killed that guy, hit that guy in the face with the barbell after he assaulted her, that he screamed something about not his sister or whatever.
Nobody hurts my sister or something.
Nobody hurts my sister. And he realizes from the genealogy that she had figured out that it was actually her half brother. Now, this is where I was a little confused for a bit, because I thought, weren't they sleeping together? But then they explain, oh no, there was 2 beds, So when she looked into the genealogy, found out he was her brother, asked her mother about, did she have another kid? Her mother said that she did, but they were, that they died in birth. I have to question, though, if she did know it was her mother's DNA and not her father's DNA or whatever. I don't know, if it's me, if I find out my DNA is connected to somebody and I have half brother, and my mother says to me, I had a baby that died, would you not immediately go tell them maybe somebody lied to you? Like, maybe she would want to know this?
No, because she was high, and that's all she was thinking about.
Okay, well, yeah, she was high. Okay, I'll give you that. I just was kind of like thinking she should have said something to her mother. But either way, she's like, you can't tell her, because the awful truth is, he's like, your mother didn't just kill somebody for you. She killed her own son. Yeah, that's pretty awful. But
and then they have this nice family dinner moment. And based on the look on his face, I give their marriage another month, if that.
Yeah, probably. He's not a happy camper. He's
not going to be able to fake it.
No.
Everything we've seen about this character, that look on his face at the end, he's not going to be able to fake it.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, never mind all the killing, but going back to the fact that Paige has been in rehab more than one. Like, he's been looking for Paige for 6 months, and she's been in rehab twice. This whole thing kind of makes no sense, because Paige is like, my brother beat the shit out of me. Aaron beat the shit out of me, and I can't have mother for help. My mother said, don't worry, go to rehab. And then she kills him. But Paige hasn't really been gone long enough for that all to make sense. And
well, she said she was there for 6 weeks. So
I know, but she's only been gone a month. She has like 2 weeks more to go. But I guess it's been going on for a month. But she was only gone in rehab for like 2 days at the time of the right.
Well, she was in rehab, and then Aaron went to her and dosed her
and took her out. She was just like, go back to rehab.
I had a problem with that too. There is no way. There is absolutely zero possibility that Aaron snuck into a fucking rehab.
There's no way, right? Like
Absolutely not.
rehab,
Everything is rehabs are locked the fuck down.
it's hard to get out and it's harder to get in, right?
That's why I thought at that point she was lying about the rehab.
It was so.
He just sneaks in and he injects her
Unless
with
British,
whatever.
unless rehabs in the UK are a little more lackadaisical, maybe. I don't know.
Like open door policy at rehab in the UK. Yeah, like he just comes in the night. He sneaks in the middle of the night and injects her in her sleep, and she wakes up and is like, "Okay, I'm back on drugs." You know,
and the people that are at her rehab don't question or do something about it.
And also she'd been there before, and also the whole part where Minnie Driver Ingrid is like, "I'm in a cult." She's like, Paige says mom was in the cult and the baby blah blah, and then mom got out of the cult and went to rehab and then whatever. And I'm like, wait, at what point was she on drugs? Like it was never said that Ingrid was like she went in the cult and then in rehab. So
just because she went to rehab doesn't mean it was necessarily for drugs.
She went to like cult rehab. So
that's kind of how I took it.
Where Paige went to a cult / drug rehab.
I mean, not for nothing, a cult is like drugs.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I don't know. I assumed she meant for.
And drugs. So it's that big Harlan Coben like final twist of the last 5 minutes where you find out that Ingrid killed her own son to save her daughter, and we can never tell her. And I think you're right. There's no way Simon is so volatile and he's so self-absorbed. There's no way he can hold the secret.
That would be awful to tell her. That would be an awful thing.
He's going to though.
He probably.
We'll never see it. I mean, it's over. But his look at the end tells you everything. Even if he never tells her, he finds another. He's going to start. He's not going to tell her, and he's going to start fights with her, and she's going to be like, "I don't understand why you're so angry at me."
Yeah, and he'll end up telling.
And eventually he'll snap and be like, "Because you killed your fucking son."
But she didn't know it was her son. So
I know that, but I'm just saying.
Tragic. But
I mean, really, I get why Paige wouldn't say it was her brother.
No, I get that part.
But why did she let on that it was her boyfriend? Why didn't she just say he's my friend, my best friend? Why BFF? Why did she let everybody think
the story doesn't play the same?
Because then you wouldn't think you would maybe figure it out. Yes, I agree. That part was a little weird. That's why I thought at first they were trying to say she was sleeping with him anyway, or didn't know at first. But anyway, that wasn't a thing. All right. Well, that is the end of this one. I enjoyed it overall.
Jamie, if you enjoyed this, you should go watch the other one that just came out on Netflix last week. Just One Look.
Is that Polish one?
It's Polish, but you can put in English subtitles or English dub.
I'll try. If I have time, I'll try to watch it.
It's good. Compared to this piece of shit, it's good. It's actually really good. Which is why I said the one day I was like, I feel like there's definitely a different vibe when you watch an English, a British one or an American one that's made of Harlan Coben versus any other country.
All right, we'll have to check it.
I feel like the vibe is so different. Like there's twists and turns in Just One Look, but it's not like the mass hysteria of all these.
I guess when you're as prolific as Harlan Coben, there's going to be some clunkers and some better ones. And this, to me, was middle of the road of what I've watched with Harlan Coben.
Yeah, this wasn't the worst one.
It's not the best one.
I agree. It was okay. It wasn't
better than Lazarus.
Yeah, Lazarus was. All right, guys. Well, I do have to go because I'm going to I need to reformat my computer, and I have not seen the other stuff. So you guys have fun. All I will say before I leave is I'll just remind everybody, make sure you look at our video tab so you can see all our new interviews. Like I said, we got Star Trek. We got my Chris Pratt one went up. There's more coming. There's Return to Silent Hill. So make sure you check all those out.
Star Trek. Can you say who that is that AG's got for Star Trek?
Unless there's a reason you can't say anything, which I don't think.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I don't know his name offhand. Do you know his name? I don't.
Oded Fair.
Okay, so that's coming up.
He plays the Admiral.
The Admiral. Okay. So that's coming up, and some other Star Trek ones potentially as well. So stay tuned for those. Like I said, Return to Silent Hill. There's some. I feel like there's something I'm missing. I was going to mention, and then I went blank there.
I don't know.
Oh, the Copenhagen test. That's got to go up yet that you did. And there's Hijack coming. So yeah, there's one more right one with quite a lot of stuff.
I about Copenhagen.
Yeah, so make sure you all check those
I've been
out.
watching Hijack, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Hijack's really good. I enjoyed Hijack, and I'm hoping to maybe get Paradise, but I don't know yet. We'll see.
Okay, and so for Wonder Man, you will post as early as tomorrow for
if we're gonna, I'm assuming we're probably gonna do it tomorrow. Whether or not we can squeeze in a watch party, we'll try and figure out what works and see how that goes, because I do have a doctor's appointment and an interview tomorrow, so I'll have to figure out
my face disappears. Ooh,
but
you're like,
but everybody said just check out Discord, stay tuned for that. And also Julie said her and Scarlett's show is on, I lost where it went.
From Rewatch starts later this week.
The show with Doug's book club story time is on Thursday. And they're going to be doing their From Rewatch soon. And like I said, Scarlett and I will also be doing School Spirits, I believe, next Monday, I want to say. So yeah, check out all that. I'll put all the links and everything in Discord. So all right, guys, have fun.
Before you go, Jamie, I'm going to remind people to like and subscribe. But Jamie, can you drop the Discord address in here one more time before you sign off?
I think I pinned it, didn't I?
You did, but anybody who joined late won't see it in the chat. You only see
if you're not on YouTube, you won't.
Yeah. So hit it once more because AJ and I won't. So this is our last shot at the Discord.
Yeah. There you go. I
can do it, but all right.
Please make sure you join. And yeah, like and subscribe, hype it if you can, and I will see you guys at the next one.
But AJ and I got a lot to do. So all right. Good night, Jamie.
All right, Jamie. Bye.
All right, AJ, where'd you like to start?
Percy.
Okay, let's start with Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This was the season finale, episode 8, which is called "The Fleece Does Its Job Too Well" or something like that, right?
Yes, that is the title.
So I don't have a recap pull. I can pull up a recap while we're talking. How'd you like this episode? How do you like this season finale?
It was a good finale. I liked it.
It was pretty good, I thought.
Kind of. It's interesting because, with Percy Jackson, it's like the enclosed story comes to an end, but the overall story is still going. So it's, it has that cliffhanger-ness to it, which Artie and Junie had both read the books when they were already out. They were already a done deal when they read them, so they didn't have to wait. But I remember talking to Artie about it one time, and he was like, I can only imagine what it was like for people that, where you get this cliffhanger ending in a book, and then you have to wait for him to write the next one. Yeah. I was like, oh, kind of like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Jon, in the book world of Game of Thrones, Jon Snow is still dead.
Yeah.
That's how the last book ended.
Yeah, he was dead. You're right.
He's still dead. That's how the last book ended.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. And yet he's around. And so, speaking of endings, I think this ending of this show is a little different than the book. I don't know that we have book readers here with us in the in our chat and on our show. And you and I haven't read the books, right? So we're just watching the show. But anyway, we can jump into it. We're back at camp. It was good to see Chiron back at camp, right? I think the whole beginning of it is like a flashback, right? Of Chiron being like, oh, by the way, let me tell you everything you guys don't know, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you what really happened and not what you think happened.
Yeah. And it's all about Thalia. So I guess I'm not really surprised that Thalia is not who Annabeth thought she was. Like, we should have seen that coming if we didn't. Maybe we did, right? We did. I mean, it's been kind of clear from the last couple episodes that the prophecy is one of the three, and it could be Thalia. And I think Percy learned in last week's, it was at the end of last week, that it could be like Thalia could go either way.
Yeah.
Could go to Luke's side, or could go to Luke's side, or could go to Percy's
Well, it's
side,
funny,
right?
even before, even before it gets to, towards the ending there, I started thinking about that. They're talking about Thalia the whole time, and I'm thinking, oh shit, we keep assuming everything's Percy, but what if it's Thalia? And then of course that's how, kind of where the story went.
Yeah. And so as Chiron is telling his story, we meet our new Zeus.
Yes.
So it's Courtney B. Vance, who's a great actor, who's, done so many great things, been around for a long time. Happy to see him. Sad that, it was Lance Reddick, right? Who was Zeus originally. I think Courtney B. Vance is a pretty good person to take over. I kind of like him. I don't know. How do you like Courtney B. Vance in this role? I mean, that's
a good recast when you don't have a choice.
Yeah. And it turns out, like, what a surprise. He's a major dick. And he basically,
it's Zeus.
Yeah. And he did this to Talia because she refused to, like, be his weapon. Like, he didn't turn her into a tree to save her, as everyone thinks. He turned her into a tree to punish her, really, right? I mean, and we get this whole backstory from Chiron about how the Furies showed up, and and they were like, "Oh, by the way, Thalia, Zeus wants to use you," and she's like, "No, I'm not into it." And that's when Zeus is like, "Fine, you're a tree." I think, right? Am I summarizing that correctly?
Yes.
All the parent gods are total jerks, right?
Yeah. Duh.
Yeah. I mean, major jerks. And I think, I don't know, but I think from what I've read that maybe the books are not quite as clear on this as they are right here. That we learn a little more, but I'm not really sure. I think it might be a little bit off book, but I don't really know. So anyway, we get this whole backstory, which sets us all up for the whole rest of the episode, which is like the attack on camp, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was, it was, I don't know if it was obvious to you, but every time you thought, you knew who the villains were, it turned out that the villains weren't the villains. It was the other people that were the villains.
Yeah. Except for those guys. Those guys were definitely villains.
Well, yeah, I mean, like obviously there's certain ones, but I'm saying like the ones that were working with Luke who were still at camp.
Oh yeah. Like we get this part with this. So I don't really, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's Chiron who refers to, where's this picture of this guy? They call him Mr. I don't remember his first name, but I know that Chiron, I think it's Chiron, or somebody calls him Mr. Rodriguez. So I just know him as Mr. Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I don't know his first name. Mr. Rodriguez, who we think is like helping all along, suddenly like turns, and it turns out that he's like aligned with Luke's side. I thought it was a good. Did you see that coming? I thought that was a good switcher.
That was a good twist. Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. I liked the whole part. I liked the part where I don't know if I like the part where this becomes a whole camper fight. Like I don't have a picture of it, but Tantalus gets killed, and his deputy chief, who's his deputy guy? I want to call him Bacchus, but he has another name, right? Dionysus. Is totally ineffectual, and there are basically no adults present who can give any kind of direction, and it's all kids.
Dionysus is like, that's not true. And Percy's like, I spoke to him. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it becomes totally kids with no parents, which is a thing that happens in YA books, right? Like parents are not a part of it. And it becomes a whole like kid battle. How'd you like the battle scenes? I don't have good shots of the battle because Disney didn't release them, but there are some, scenes of fighting, which I think are okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, Clarice gets to kick ass some more as usual.
Mm-hmm. Luke shows up. We get a good Luke versus Percy fight. Decent Luke versus Percy fight, right? In his
and
wedges.
then Dahlia comes back, and that was great with Clarice, what she did when she stuck the fleece on the end of the spear. That
Right?
was a good idea.
And Percy throws it and says, like, you complete the quest. And she like puts the fleece on the end of her spear and throws it onto the tree, and brings Dahlia back to life, which seems a good idea, but we have kind of learned that it's not a great idea.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be a great idea.
It doesn't. And poor Annabeth, right? Who has been waiting and waiting for her friend to come back to life. And I'm not sure which way that's going to go. I mean,
it remains to be seen, obviously, how that's going to play out.
Yeah. I mean, when I downloaded this picture today, it made me think about how much of the last 2 episodes have been about, Percy and Annabeth talking about making decisions. And every decision you make means something. And I think it was last week that Percy says to Annabeth, like, can you imagine having to choose between your 2 friends? It's really very painful. And it's a really hard thing to do. And I think Annabeth is going to do that in the next season.
Well, no, actually, Thalia's got to make that decision.
Thalia's making a decision.
Does she go with Luke or does she go with Annabeth?
And then depending what she does, if she goes with Luke, does Annabeth go with Thalia or does she go with Percy?
She goes with Percy without a doubt.
You think so? I mean, she idolizes Thalia.
Yeah, but there's no way Annabeth chooses to destroy the gods. There's no way she chooses Kronos.
Yeah, she's a daughter of Athena and she's very knowledgeable.
She's not choosing Kronos. There's no way.
Yeah. How about this part? Where Daddy shows up. Percy goes into like a little bit of almost a dream, it's a dream, right?
Yeah, it's while he's in a coma.
And his dad comes to him, which is kind of cool, but it's kind of shitty that your dad only comes to you in a coma and doesn't actually help you in what you're doing. Well,
listen, the gods are not known to be great parents.
No, you're right. They're not. They're terrible parents. I mean, and these kids are only demigods, and they don't claim them, and they don't support them.
They claim them, otherwise they wouldn't be there.
Well, they're not all claimed, right? Percy wasn't claimed when he showed up. They're not all claimed, I think.
They have to be claimed, or they can't play.
Percy was claimed while he was at camp.
Was he? I thought he was claimed before that.
No, I think Percy was already at camp because hang on, I'm dealing with my freezer. Give me 1 second.
Oh yeah, maybe it was when he. Yeah, now you're right because I remember he was
the water of the lake that came up.
Yeah, he was in the water, and then Poseidon's.
Yeah.
Trident was overhead. Poseidon
claimed him while he was already he had never been claimed, and he was claimed at camp. They're not all claimed, and but they have this. I love that he's wearing a pea coat like a sailor, and they have this like kind of really good parent moment. And then there's also a really good moment where like Tyson comes up, right? And I mean, there's 2 great moments where Tyson first saves Percy's life from being like almost killed in the battle, and then there's also a moment where Daddy is like, Tyson, I need you to go to my fort.
Hey Doc.
Where Poseidon finally like really like embraces Tyson in a way he hasn't before and says, look, I need you. I need your skills. You got to go create weapons for the war. I need you to go like to Hephaestus underwater, wherever, blah, blah. And Tyson gives this really nice monologue about how like I was alone and I prayed for a friend and the God sent me a brother, which is kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
Because Percy was kind of a jerk to him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the big change that everybody was talking about from the books. I guess in the books, Poseidon doesn't actually shows up. He sends Percy a letter that says, brace yourself.
Who does? Poseidon sends but this. So we get this whole dream sequence. That's not what happens?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess in the book, he gets a letter from Poseidon that says that just says, brace yourself.
Well, that's not very helpful. Right? like brace yourself for the war. And also there's this, like the whole prophecy thing and Percy's dream is not resolved by the end of the season, right? I'm a little surprised. I thought that this particular shot of the prophecy might be resolved, and it's not.
No, because I think, well, it's yet to come.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely surprised that wasn't resolved.
Yeah.
Like I said, this chapter of the story, the Sea of Monsters storyline, has come to a resolution, but the overall story,
because we're going to come to another book next season, right? Which I think might already be in production.
It
right?
Yes.
It is. I think it is, yeah. So we'll see what happens. I feel like this second season was maybe a little less tight than the first season was, and we've got like a bunch of threads going on with, we got this dream, we've got Thalia, we've got like, Tyson and Poseidon. There's some things going on, but I guess I expect that from a second season and from a second book. In general, I think I've kind of liked this season.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think this season was definitely better than the first season.
I think so, yeah. I mean, certainly, like visually, like they figured out like their action scenes, and I think the kids are all like they're all very young actors, and they were all good, but they've had a year to gel as a cast, and they're a little bit better together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've come together a little bit more, and so I think I know we have some people who are in our chat who don't really watch it, and I think it's really, these are short episodes, and I think it's worth going and like binging these two and getting ready for season 3 when it comes next year or whatever, right?
Yep.
I'm looking for a show. It's a pretty easy watch and a good watch. All right. Anything else you want to say about this?
No, I think we covered it pretty good.
All right. What is next? What would you like to hit next?
Let's do Night Manager.
Okay, let me get up to my little Night Manager set. There's so many pictures in here. The Night Manager. So we only have one episode this week, episode 5. It was a pretty, we're now in the real action. We're getting near, we're in the second act or the third act or whatever, the back half. And we're back half, and we're now like all action. And it's not all action, but it's all tension. Like this is not action, but it's tension, right? Can I hear you? Hello?
What did you say?
AJ, I can't really hear you.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, you got a little like muffling there in your So how did you like this episode?
I loved it. I mean, I watched them all in like 2 days.
Yeah. And did you rewatch for this week, or you just remember it?
I did not. I just basically remember it.
Well, most of this episode is really surrounding like this meeting between Jonathan / Matthew and Dickie, right? Setting it up, having it. I love this part. It's so great to see these two together again. And I mean, Roper dominates this episode, I think, and it's well worth it. It's great.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's great because they both think they have the upper hand.
Yeah. So, Matthew, what are we calling him? Jonathan? He has to like, he really wants to get this guy to, is he being a little reckless? Yes. Is he able to get the guy? I don't know. And then Dickie is so like, wants to get Jonathan because he's kind of angry, but I think they both, it was clear from the first season, if any of you watched it, that they really kind of liked each other and enjoyed each other's company, right? Like they could have been like I think Jonathan hates Dickie for what he does and who he is, but he kind of likes him as like this bon vivant, like great party guy, friend kind of guy, right?
I don't know. I don't think Jonathan likes him at all. I think he's good at playing the part. Dickie definitely liked Jonathan.
Yes, you're right. And happened this part where Dickie's like, "Oh, Jonathan, I've seen it that you like the money and you like the lifestyle and you're really into it." I think there's an element of truth there.
I think he definitely thrives in this role of deception.
So you don't think it's Dickie thinks it's the money and the high living, like at least in this meeting, Dickie says like, "Oh, I saw that you look. I'll give you $50 million and you can disappear and be independent, and I'll, you love it. You want the life." You're saying that's not really what Jonathan loves. He likes the chase.
He definitely likes the chase, because if you think about it, he could have very easily kept that 300 million from season 1 and not give it to the government.
He did give it to the government, yeah. And also, he went after Dickie for reasons, which partly were for, him just being a bad dude, right? And like Jonathan also like suffered some losses in season 1 that makes him really kind of hate Dickie also, right? He's a bad guy, and Jonathan has a moral compass, right? That like, look, Roper's objectively bad. He's
oh yeah, he's awful.
He's an arms dealer, and he's trying to overthrow the government of Colombia, supposedly. I love this meeting between them. It's a highlight of the episode, right? I was surprised that we saw kind of really. So we didn't see that much of these two together. I don't have a shot. Amazon Amazon doesn't put a ton of photos in their press dump. And I don't really have a picture of this meeting between Teddy and Jonathan, which happens, right? Where Jonathan is like, okay, he meets with Roper, and then his next step is to destroy Teddy, really. Like, he destroys Teddy in this episode. I don't have a shot of it, but that whole scene where he I think I said to you last week where this whole bit where the private investigators were recording everything under Chloe's collar. And I was like, oh my God, I hope he's recording it and not just listening, because I'm sure that Jonathan's going to play this for Teddy. And that's what happens this week, right? Jonathan plays for Teddy. How did you feel about that scene?
Oh, I totally saw it coming,
Yep.
It's, it's kind of what he did with Jed, in a different way. I mean, Jed also knew how bad Dickie was to begin with. She was. Yeah. But yeah, I
totally saw it coming, but I felt kind of bad for Teddy in that moment, right?
Yeah, Teddy is definitely becoming a sympathetic character. He's very complex.
Yes, right. He's becoming this guy, this like orphan child who like worshipped his father, who came once a year, and he's really look. I'm not saying you should become an arms dealer and create a mercenary army because you miss your dad, but he really you're right. He's very complex. Like, would Teddy have done this if he wasn't like starved for love of his father? And like, it's so clear that like Dickie has really manipulated him.
Yeah.
And intends to kill him, we think, right?
No, he tends to just leave him behind.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody's got to take the rap for everything that's happening in Colombia. So
I wish we had a photograph of it. But when Jonathan leaves that laptop there and has Teddy listen to it all, and then he says, "Teddy, play the last tape," and play the last file, and it's the one where he says like, "Oh, what's the other kid's name? Danny. Danny's my one and only son."
Yeah.
And Aaron, it's heartbreaking, right?
Yep.
It was a great part of the episode, I thought. I love that scene.
Yeah. So what do you think about Roxy?
Oh, Roxy. I think she's going to get herself killed. I don't think she comes out of this alive.
She, the whole thing happens with the kid after, the the DA gets killed, and
Right.
they try, the plan was to pin it on the kid, and he gets the kid out of there, and then he takes the two of them to the safe house
On the run. Yeah.
and
They're
she
weirdo.
is just so like, it's like it's so funny, like, she's bad news because Jonathan sleeps with all the hotties
Yes.
and he won't sleep with her.
Yet they have a weirdo sexual interaction in the safe
Yeah.
house, right?
Yeah,
Where
she basically pleasures herself with his hand while he just stands there.
yeah, which is like, she's like, I hate you. You lied to me. You set me up. And he's like, I did what I had to do. And they have this very like, angry conversation, which is all true. And yet then they're all of a sudden like so hot for each other.
Yeah, it's very. But the thing I love is she keeps playing the woe is me card. This is all your fault, and he always comes back with, well, you know what? You got my friends killed.
Yeah, and you knew what you were doing. He says, you knew who I was. I mean, she kind of didn't. I don't know. By the end of the episode, she calls Roper, right? Like, I mean, I think she's trying to.
An idiot.
It's like, who am I safer with? And she thinks if she goes to Roper, she's going to be killed. She's definitely going to be killed.
She think I mean, the way she's playing everything, she thinks she's manipulating everybody, and she ain't manipulating shit. And the last person she's going to be able to manipulate is Roper.
At this point, she has nothing. She has no information. She has no leverage. All she has right now is her sexuality, right? Like, what is she brokering to Jonathan or to Roper? Like, Roper knows who Jonathan is. He's after him. He's met with it. Like, I don't know what Roxy thinks she contributes to the effort at this point, right? When she shows up there, there's no reason they wouldn't kill her, I think.
Yeah, I mean, her whole plan going to Roper at the end there. I mean, that line that he says to her about sending her mother 31 shoe boxes, one for each day of the month.
Yeah. I don't know what she thinks. What do you think?
Well, that's the thing. She thinks she can manipulate, she's hot and she thinks she can manipulate all these men. She's pretty much got Teddy wrapped around a little finger.
Oh, yeah. Teddy's kind of dumb.
Well, Teddy leads with his heart. Teddy is very eccentric and definitely leads with his heart, which is why part of the reason why Jonathan is able to bring him over to his side, because he's kind of got a thing for Jonathan.
Teddy's out of his league, like intellectually, also experience wise, knowledge wise. Like Teddy's been used by pretty much everyone. At least Roxy kind of knew she was being used and was trying to use everybody else.
Yeah, but Roxy, she's even further out of her league. Like, if she thinks she's gonna pull one over on Roper, whatever her plan is, she is sorely mistaken.
But she thinks she's been in the know. Like, Teddy's been clueless the whole time, right? Like,
she's not in the know as much as she thinks she is. I mean, she doesn't know. I mean, Teddy has been.
I think she will die. I think she'll die before this. She can't live, right? There's no way she can live. She's too stupid to live. Or I shouldn't say stupid. She's too overconfident to live. She's very overconfident. I don't know what she thinks she's bringing to Roper. Like, what is she bringing to Roper?
Have to find out next week.
I don't know. Speaking of which, I included this picture of Chloe because we had this moment, which we talked last week, and I was like, "Oh my God,
yes,
that dog! When is he going to find the microphone?"
This week. It's so funny. It's so funny while you're saying that. I'm thinking, I know when.
You know when.
But the worst. But you know what the worst fucking part is? I mean, I'm sure you know what the worst part is.
Yeah, that he killed the dogs.
Like, it's the dog's fault.
Why is the dog's fault?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not the dog. Yeah, he killed all.
To be fair, these mean, vicious attack dogs were subdued by a couple meatballs. So maybe that's why he killed them. Like, the fact that somebody got close enough to them to do that, maybe that's his thought process. I mean, still wrong.
To me, they've given no appearance of being mean, vicious attack dogs. Like, are they watchdogs? They're house pets. They're always on the couch, always petting them.
That's true.
They're not
maybe
like,
I mean on the compound and around him, maybe. I think I don't know.
Like, when you look at Halle Berry's dogs in John Wick, those are mean, vicious attack dogs, right? That are super.
But only when she gives the command.
Yes. I think that these dogs are, I mean, yes, they're watchdogs, but they're, anyway, yes, they're three of them. He shoots all of them because Chloe, like, I mean, I guess that's meant to show how volatile Dickie is and how untrustworthy he is and how, I guess, if he shoots these dogs, of course he would shoot his son, which doesn't track, but whatever, right? I guess it's meant to show, like, how horrible he is. I'm starting to think of a theory of how this might end. I mean, I think Roxy will be killed. Oh, wait, before we go there. So we didn't cover what happened.
I was just going to say, there's somebody else that does die.
We have the whole thing going on in the MI6 department where Myra, do I have a picture of Myra? Do I have Myra? I might have deleted Myra's picture because she wasn't really that much in this episode. But Myra's starting to figure stuff out, right? Here she is. Myra's starting to figure stuff out. Well, because Roper calls her and he's like, what the hell? Why is this guy here? And she's like, no, he's dead. He's like, you're not dead. He's right here. Right? And Myra is fixing to get killed by Dickie Roper also if she's not careful. But she's in really deep. And it seems to be really about money, right? Like, there's no part of the show that is about, like, somehow MI6 thinks it's good for the UK for there to be a coup in Colombia. It's all about her money and her personal enrichment, right? So we had to say goodbye to Basil this week.
Yeah, I was holding out hope that they were just going to keep torturing him, but.
So that he could live, so he eventually could get rescued somehow.
Yeah, I liked Basley. He was a good addition to the team.
Too, but he's alone. Like, if he was in Colombia, he had a chance that either Sally or Jonathan could save him. But he's back in the UK. He has no chance, right? I was really sorry to see that happen. I mean, he does really resist Myra, and he lies a lot, and he's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, that's the great thing. He doesn't give her anything. So
no, he doesn't. He dies, and we also in this episode see Sally like not take her passport. She's got a way out of the country, and she decides to stay. I'm not sure that is a good sign for her, but I think she might make it out of the show. I think she might live. I don't know. I know you can't say you've seen it. I think maybe Sally could live. I think it's possible that Jonathan gets his whole team killed, and that we could take that into season 3. How he feels after getting his whole team killed, but I think maybe Sally could live. Only through her own dumb luck. She hasn't shown, I mean, she's inexperienced, right? And she hasn't shown a real...
Well, she hasn't really been in any type of danger. She's pretty much behind the scenes.
Yes, and she goes around and is like, in this episode, she goes to the, I don't have a picture, but she goes to the prime minister, deputy prime minister, deputy, whatever.
Yes.
She is. And she's like, by the way, that guy was murdered, and she's afraid, right? She says like, oh yes, I'm here. Like, she's... That conversation indicates that this woman knows that she's in danger. And Sally maybe is going to save her. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're going to thwart the coup, right? Before it's over. I think. But R.I.P. Basil. We hardly knew ye. So where my theory is going, so there's another, this was episode 5. So there's
one left.
I've been thinking, so I'm thinking that Roxana will die. I think Teddy might die. I think Teddy might give his life to try to bring down Roper. And I'm working up a theory that I think maybe Roper would die and that Danny could become the new, like, I don't know. Danny's only like 16 or 17, right? But do we have a time jump? We have another time jump, 10 years, and Danny now becomes like the heir to his father's empire, and he's very bitter and angry young man and becomes the new big bad. I don't know. I'm kind of like I'm not sure. Earlier on, I thought, like, why is Danny even in this? Because we had that one episode where he's like, he's like, I'm so mad at you. I'm in boarding school and blah, 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 right? And then it became clear now why, because Roper values him so much more than Teddy. But I feel like maybe Teddy dies and then Danny might be a part of next season. I don't really know. But I'm kind of feeling that right now. I don't have a real theory, but I'm kind of feeling it. I don't think Teddy can. I think Teddy dies. As part of bringing down Roper, Teddy dies. And that's another thing that Jonathan has to bear. I don't know.
All I'm going to say is I can't wait to hear your thoughts next week.
So it's a good season finale, huh? All right. Looking forward to it. I don't see a lot of comments in the chat. I don't think everybody watches this except for you and me.
Hi, B.
Bear with us for one more week next week. B's here waiting for Starfleet. I think.
Which is our last and final show tonight.
And that's all. We got everything right. No, we have. You want to do Night of Seven Kingdoms first?
Oh Jesus, I forgot about that. Yes, let's do that.
It's only a half-hour show, so let's bang it out. Sorry, B, we'll bang this out real quick because it's only 30 minutes. This show, this is a lighter and gentler and more comedic version of Game of Thrones. And
I was laughing my ass off this whole episode.
They sure threw in the 13-year-old comedy in the opening scene, right?
I was reading an article that was they said that was their oh shit, what the hell was the name of that porn parody type movie? Boogie Nights.
That was their Boogie Nights moment.
That was their Boogie Nights moment. Dirk Diggler.
I mean, it's their Dirk Diggler moment. I went to physical therapy this morning, and my therapist said to me, "Oh, are you watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms?" And we got into a conversation about this opening scene where Sir Arlen, who I have there on the right, this older man, there's a flashback, and we see him in his full glory with his enormous equipment that everyone who watched this was like, what's going on, right? It was really
unexpected.
It was kind of funny, again, in that sort of like, I mean, I'm going to call it, I don't really want to say juvenile, bawdy, in a bawdy kind of way, right? It's funny because Game of Thrones was so criticized for so long for having so much female full frontal nudity and no male. And then they kind of, at the end of Game of Thrones and now with this, have really embraced like male nudity. Which is fine. Fair is fair.
Should have watched Spartacus. There was plenty of both.
I did think a little bit like maybe, so as we see this flashback, it's because Dunk is trying to explain to all of these lords how great Sir Arlen was because he wants to get into the tournament, right? And I kind of feel like watching this episode, like a lot of what Dunk feels about Sir Arlen is idealized because this man was so good to him and raised him like a son, right? And he's always like, oh, he was not a great fighter, but he was so. We saw that whole flashback where Dunk is saying all these wonderful things, and we're seeing a man who was pretty much not like.
Well, at this stage of the guy's life, he's pretty brittle.
Well, and he was not an exceptional sword. He was not an exceptional knight. He like provided his service. He was whatever. And I was kind of like, oh, so like this huge endowment that he has. I mean, is that also idealized? It's funny because my therapist said to me, like, and wait a minute, they also say he had no children. How does a man like that have no children?
Maybe he's shooting blanks.
Yeah, I guess so. It was kind of after we had the poop scene last week, and then we had this scene this week. It was
he started. Yeah, I didn't think about that. We started one episode with a poop scene, and the next episode with a piss scene.
With an enormous penis making the piss. Yeah. It was quite a beginning. The rest of this episode is mostly around the tournament, right? And we have a couple things going on. One is the arrival of a whole bunch of Targaryens show up.
Yes.
So, and we have 3 of them. So Baelor is the crown prince, right?
Yep.
He's not the king, and he's not blonde, right? He's not. It surprised me that he's a Targaryen, but his hair is not in any way remotely blonde at all. Which kind of surprised me because his brother Maekar is like the full blonde, the full white hair of the Targaryens. I'm not sure. Is there a dark horse that shows up once in a while in the Targaryen blood? Yes, there are, depending who they marry, right?
Well, their mother is Dorne, maybe.
I think she's a Martell. I think their mother's a Martell, right?
Martell. Is their mother Martell? I don't remember.
I think their mother's Martell. Their mother's a Martell. I looked them up today. I actually asked Google, like, who are all these Targaryens hanging around? And their mother is a Martell. So I guess that's why he is a dark-haired. Baelor, the crown prince, is dark-haired. He shows up with Maekar, his brother. And Maekar...
Okay. His wife is a Dane. That's what I was thinking. His wife is Diana Dane. His mother is Myriad Martell.
Right? Yeah. So I guess he's dark. His brother's blonde. He's the crown prince. He's much nicer. His brother's kind of like very stiff and gruff. And then Maekar has brought his obnoxious son Arion, who's a total dick, right? But you can tell the blonder the hair, the bigger a dick you are. And it's kind of true.
That's not Arion. That's not Arion, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's Arion. Yeah.
I think Arion's the other one.
I think that's Arion. Anyway, because 2 of them are missing. 2 of the sons have not each one has a son that went off together and didn't show up, right? Or there are 2 or 3 missing.
There's 2 missing.
There's 2 missing. This guy, and okay.
Doesn't say which 2 are missing though.
This guy might, yes, they do, I think, in the episode say who's missing. They do name them, I think. But at any rate, Arion's a dick. This guy's a total, look, there are some Targaryens, if you're not familiar with Game of Thrones, the Targaryens are very inbred. They marry brothers to sisters, they marry cousins, and they have a line of insanity that goes through their family, and it doesn't afflict anyone. Some people are totally normal, some people are totally very violent and brutal, and we haven't seen it from this guy, but we've seen this guy as kind of a jerk, right? And very entitled. So we'll see what happens with all these Targaryens. They roll in, not much goes on with them until our friend Sir Dunk gets involved.
Okay. Prince Darren and Aegon are missing.
Darren and Aegon are missing. This is Arion, Daron and Aegon. And I think one is the son of each, right? I don't think
they're both Maekars.
They're both Maekar sons.
Yes.
So Baelor's sons aren't missing. Only
yes,
Maekar.
Darren and Darren is the oldest.
So only like 4th in line to the throne, right? Because Maekar is the spare.
Well, Maekar. I mean, Maekar himself is the 4th son.
Oh yeah, he's the 4th son. So between so Baelor's the
Baelor's the next in line.
Yes, and then there's like 2 more brothers, and then Maekar, so he's already 3rd, and then his son is like 4th. All of his sons are 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever. So it kind of works out okay for Sir Dunk, though, right? Like Dunk, like actually, is this a show about a guy who stumbles into? Is he like the Forrest Gump of Game of Thrones? Like he just
nah, I wouldn't say that.
He stumbles into this. He sneaks in. He's trying to like get himself into these games, and he sneaks into the Targaryen. The Targaryens are the major. I mean, their father's the king. They're the major people at this tournament. They've got a big tent or whatever house they're in, and Dunk kind of he sneaks in there to talk to them. He's kind of like he keeps saying I'm stupid. People tell me I'm stupid, but he's not that stupid, right?
Right.
He sneaks in there and he talks to them. How'd you like the scene where he's talking to Baelor?
It was a good scene. I liked it a lot. I thought I liked the fact that Baelor kind of, the fact that Baylor remembers
Sir Arlen.
Sir Arn, it kind of makes the scene, because then he's kind of, you can tell he kind of, you can tell he kind of likes Dunk, and just seems like Makar doesn't like anybody.
No, Makar is kind of really a very kind of jerky guy. Baylor, it's interesting. You're right. It's just that he's the only one who remembers Sir Arlen, and he remembers him because, like, I think Sir Arlen unseated him at the first. They tell the story about how at this tournament.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, he defeated Sir Arlen,
and
Arlen had knocked somebody else on their ass prior to that.
And he said, and then he's like, "Oh, we went 4 lances before I unseated him," and Dunk says, "No, it was 7," and Baylor's, "No, it was 4," but whatever. And it is a big switch from, like, not just Makar, but everybody we saw in the previous episode was like, "I don't know that guy, I don't know that guy, I don't know that guy," and Baylor makes it a point of remembering his more worthy opponents. He's going to be a pretty good king when he sits the throne, right? Mostly the Targaryens do not have a track record of being good kings that we hear about. Well, you don't hear about the good kings because the bad kings are more interesting. But
that's not true. You hear about good kings too.
You do, but they're not as interesting. So Dunk sneaks in there, and he gets actually, like, Baylor's like, "Oh, I actually, like, I don't see any reason to keep you out of the tournament. You can, like, go in, whatever."
The only thing he tells him is he has to have his own sigil.
Oh, right. And that takes us to
this wonderfully awkward conversation.
Oh, my God.
And I knew he was going to forget to give her the shield.
It's like he never talked to a woman before in his life, right? He's
totally smitten.
He's really smitten. She's very pretty, and she's very tall. She's a very tall woman, right? Like, Egg makes this point of being like, "Oh, well, you're both huge."
Yeah.
It's awkward, but it's kind of cute, right? Like,
yeah.
he's smitten, and he's, like, speechless, and it's kind of cute. And he asks her to repaint his shield for him, right?
Her name is Tansel.
Tansel, yeah. I don't know if there's enough time for them to get together. Like, this is only 6 episodes, and this is episode 2. Like, I'm not sure we have time for a romance in this. And I'm not sure a guy who has 3 novellas, like, is going to have a wife. So I'm not sure where it's going, but it's awfully cute, right? And I thought they did a good job of the whole awkwardness and the flirty thing.
Yeah.
It was cute. So there's a third part of the story, right? Which is the joust.
Pinky and the Brain vibes.
What?
Golden Child said he's got Pinky and the Brain vibes.
Yeah. I don't know, Kimberly and Golden Child, how'd you guys like this episode? Give us some more thoughts while we move on to the next part of the show, which is the joust, which includes, like, Lionel Baratheon. That's an old photo from.
Oh no, actually no. First we have the tug of war.
Yes, we do have the tug of war.
I see Egg at the front of this, and I'm thinking, what the hell is he gonna do? Which at one point he actually puts his legs up on the rope because he's sliding.
I guess it was kind of nice that all these guys let this little squire be in it, right? This tiny kid.
Well, it's a combination of the knights and their squires in this tug of war. Yeah. I love when Lionel walks away and he's like, "I'll be right back," and then they start winning, and he's like, "Oh, I'm back."
He goes to get a drink. He's like, "I'll be right back. I'm getting a drink," and then he comes back, and they. I was a little surprised. I thought this scene might go a little more to people glorifying Dunk because he's so big, right? He's the anchor man. He's so big. He's pulling. And I was like, "Oh, is he going to just pull it and be the winner?" People were like, "Oh, you're amazing." But no, he actually was more like a part of a team. I guess I in the end kind of like it that he was more like just part of the gang and not, yes, he right?
I mean, he was the anchor, so which
was,
is
yeah.
where your power starts
Yeah.
from. So
I did also love Egg putting his feet up so he wouldn't get pulled
Yeah.
in the mud, and I do still think that this relationship with Lionel Baratheon is going to come out to be like beneficial somehow to Dunk, right? I mean, this guy was Lionel is kind of the highest guy in the camp until the Targaryens showed up, right?
yeah.
Um,
Well, at the very least, he's the most fun. Not really the highest because there's other people on the same level as him. He's just the most fun.
yeah. The Baratheon is hilarious. He reminds me of Tyrion. He kind of does, right? He drinks and he knows things. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, yeah. And I like Egg. I think we all like Egg. I think that little kid is doing a great job.
He's very wise for his age.
I think the two actors, this tiny child and this gigantic man, the two actors who I'm saying that because I don't know their names right now. Peter Claffey, I think, is the guy who plays Dunk. I think that these two actors have some good chemistry on screen.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Kimberly, you like this better than last week. How come? Because something actually happened? Because it got a little more. Actually, nothing really happened this week either, right? But
yeah, but last week is definitely very set-uppy, and this week kind of gets going a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the tent scene the first episode was really great. So.
Oh yeah. And we had the joust this week also.
Yes.
That picture happens to be the Targaryen, the young.
It's Darian.
No, it's this guy.
Or not Darian.
Arian.
Aaron. No, yeah, Arian. Darian's one of the ones missing.
Yeah. That would be him jousting. The joust was pretty good, although I do feel this episode had a lot of I didn't include any of the photos that are from nighttime. Like Game of Thrones, it tends to be really dark, and I think it's when they shoot day for night. Like these scenes can be really very dark.
Well, the joust was also at night.
Yes. And they shoot day for night, and it becomes really dark and hard to see. This is not that hard to see. This is pretty good. The joust was pretty. So I never really considered that jousting could be like 5 or 6 guys or 12 guys going against each other in 6 lanes at the same time. Like my experience of jousting. So I live in Maryland. Excuse me. The Maryland state sport is jousting. Can you believe that? And there's always jousting at the Maryland Renaissance Festival, and it's always like 2 guys against each other. There's never like 4 or 5, 6 lanes of people at the same time. And I never really thought about it. And we never saw that in Game of Thrones, right? But
yeah, no, and other movies where I've seen jousting, it's always they only focus one-on-one.
Right.
So I mean, this might be, you know what, not for nothing, this might be more realistic to how things actually were. Whereas I think the whole point of doing a one-on-one is the focus in those situations, those movies like A Knight's Tale or the scene, in Game of Thrones, the scene that we're seeing,
Yeah.
I think this might have been more realistic, and because ultimately it doesn't matter other than the Targaryen who wins and loses in these, I think, is why it was a cool scene. It was great to watch.
It was cool. So
especially when people are almost getting run over by somebody else's horse after they fell off of theirs.
Right. I'm inclined to agree with you about this. I know that George R. R. Martin, has done a lot of research for all of his novels, all his books, and he's really inspired by the War of the Roses. And I would think that this might be historically accurate in a lot of ways, right? Because he's committed to that. And I also could see, as we watch the show, and there's so many people who are coming to be in this tournament, this is an effective way of having your early rounds and get guys out of it, right?
Right.
I also really liked, I'm sure you did also, these scenes where guys are put off their horse, and there's this one, and this guy is so amazing, he jumps on the running horse and leans over and does some trick riding and grabs his lance again. And yes, there are guys who are about to be run over by their horses, and there's this one guy who's able to be whoop, let me get on my horse, let me do this thing, right? It's pretty cool. There was some trick riding involved. So
I just Googled this actually.
Yes.
there used to be melees where people would just go after each other. So this was kind of like a hybrid of a melee and a one-on-one.
Wasn't a melee just like ultimate fighting, like a whole million guys with whatever weapon you want just fighting each other to the death or to whoever was last standing? Like, I know that melees are like in Game of Thrones, they talk about the joust and the melee as like maybe different things at a tournament, but I don't know. But I think like 14 guys riding against each other is kind of a melee of jousting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like that's what I'm saying. They kind of created this as a hybrid.
It was cool. There are ways in which it was violent, but it was less violent and bloody than a lot of.
You know what's funny is it was kind of violent, but I thought it was pretty interesting to see Dunk was kind of, watching it, because he's going to be doing this. So when things were happening, he was kind of like, ooh, and Egg was like, yeah, like smash him. Like Egg was really into it.
Yes. So I chose this photograph, but there's another photo that I didn't download, that I didn't choose to put up here, where Egg is much more like, where the crowd is like, yeah, the crowd is really into the violence, really into and Dunk looks a little more concerned, these two. And then there's a shot at the end of it where Dunk is like holding Egg almost on his shoulders, right? Well, he does put him on his shoulders earlier.
Put him on his shoulders to start with, yeah.
And then he's hugging him, but yeah, Egg is like, Dunk seems a little. This picture they both look concerned, but you're right. There's a shot where Dunk is like, wait, what am I getting into? Almost, right? I mean, Dunk has never been to a tournament, as far as we know. Like,
he's never been in. He's been to them. He's just never been in one.
Okay, and he,
like, this is literally which is a conversation he has with the Smith when he's like, I'm you'll get your money. I'm here to win this, and he's like, oh, and I guess the rest of the guys are here to cheer you on.
Yeah, you're right. So we don't have any. There were no photos available of his conversation with the Smith, but it's a pivotal. It's an important part of this episode, right? Where he's like, I need some armor. But he has no money. And he has this talk with this guy about that. And
then he had to sell his horse.
Oh, and he had to sell his horse. That was so sad, right? Because early in last week's episode, he's like talking about how much he's like, I could like make a lot of money if I sell you, but I would never do that. And then this week he does it, right?
But he does tell the horse he's going to buy it back after he wins.
Yes, and he gives extra money and says like, oh, please, like give her some oats and an apple tonight. And he's, I mean, he's a nice guy. So this show, look, he could never make it. This is not Game of Thrones. It's not going to be Game of Thrones. But he could never make it in Game of Thrones. I mean, this is not an existential kind of drama like we had with that. But he doesn't have the. There's a part of, is it this episode where he talks, puts his face in. Guy who's a white cloak in the Kingsguard, and he says like, oh, if I could only be in the Kingsguard, that would be so great. And I'm thinking, oh man, you'd be eaten alive in the Kingsguard. There's no way, right? Because we know from Game of Thrones that the Kingsguard is equally as political as everything else, even more political, right? But this is not that show. This is not a guy who's going to be involved in this highly political right? I don't know. You're laughing. I don't know, but
no, I was laughing at about, I didn't know that about what Golden Child said, that jousting is why we drive on opposite sides of the road.
Shut up. No, really? Do you know that jousting is why our countries drive on opposite sides of the road? Really?
I'm going to Google that later.
And Beehive knew that, but I remember why. I'm going to Google that also. Especially, I live in a state where jousting is the state sport, and I didn't know that either. Don't ask me why. You have to Google that yourself. I have no idea why jousting is Maryland's state sport.
So anyway,
why is it not?
One thing I got to say, I mean, I understand why the episodes are short because it's a short book. Yeah. But I hate it because like it ends and I'm just like, oh my God, it's over already.
mean, I'm glad I'm watching it together with you guys every week. I could see why some people might wait and just watch it in one big binge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, by the time all is said and done, it's going to be a little over 3 hours.
It is. I believe season 2 is already in production, right? We talked about that already. Yes. So hopefully it will come sooner than later. And given there are no dragons, it should not take as long to do the post-production. This actually happens after the Targaryens have already lost the dragons, right?
Yes.
House of the Dragon takes place.
This is 90 years before Game of Thrones.
House of the Dragon is another at least 100 years before this, right?
At least.
Yeah, and so the Targaryens have no more dragons now. So bring it fast, HBO. All right, so are we good with this? Shall we?
I think we're good. I think we can do Academy.
Starfleet is our last show, right?
Yep.
Tonight, Starfleet Academy. This episode is like a self-contained episode. It's like a episode of the week. There's not, I think, a lot of overarching. Well, we don't see Paul Giamatti. There's no like overarching villain. It's a
Prank week
episode. It's a what?
It's prank week.
It's prank week. How did you like prank week?
I'm glad that Starfleet Academy got the upper hand at the end because the War College is obnoxious.
Right? Those guys are jerks.
But I love the way the Chancellor basically not really tricks them into working together, but finally gets through to them. Like they finally start to realize, oh my God, she's been like telling us what to do this whole time, and we're all so stupid and self-contained that we don't listen.
Yeah.
Not self-contained, self-involved.
So,
oh, you're breaking up. There you go. That's better.
All right. I'm gonna plug it. I might be losing battery. Let me plug in. I liked Prank Week. I liked the way they set up Starfleet Academy versus War College. I liked the whole thing with everybody playing. Is it called? Oh, I can't. Can you see that picture?
Yeah.
I'm losing my. I can't. Mine is not changing. I'm Calica. I liked all that. I did not love the Chancellor and Holly Hunter in this episode. Overall, but in general, I like the episode. Oh, there it is. It's about everybody trying out for Calica, which is a new sport that I didn't know about, I think, right? And I didn't know that somebody has to dress up as the mascot, which in this case is a lizard with fly eyes.
I mean, it's basically capture the flag, but in this case, capture the mascot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And everybody's trying out for the team. And yeah, so capture the mascot. And in this case, like Starfleet Academy has the worst mascot. It is such a lame mascot, right? Although his mascot is not that good either. There's not a picture of it, but it's like freshman year going out for the varsity soccer team or whatever, or the varsity like laser tag team.
I like the scene when they're in line. They're like, everybody here, you're all part of the team because you people all had either the best score or you're the mascot.
Oh, yeah. Like, Laura says, like, your score was slightly less pathetic than everybody else's. Or you fit the mascot uniform, right? It was nice to see more of both Laura and Reno this week.
Yes.
We have not seen a ton of Reno. It was great to see her and Laura. We learned they are a couple.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to reveal that they were a couple. When she's who was she? I don't remember who she was talking to. Was it Caleb that she was talking to? Where she was talking about how she gave up being on Discovery so that she could be with her.
That comes later. I think she's just talking to Laura. I think Reno was talking to Caleb.
Yeah, it was Caleb, right?
Laura marches in and says, like, we were going to have turducken for dinner and you blew it.
Yeah.
Why are we having turducken? And so there's this big, like, argument about dinner. And when she leaves is when Reno says, like, look, I left a starship at the edge of space.
On the age of discovery.
Yeah, right? To be with her. And she makes it a lesson about, like, what you're willing to give up and what you're willing to do and whatever. I mean, the main part of it is these two competing to be captain.
He's such a jerk. It's like I like him, but he's such a jerk.
Yes, and this was a little bit too on the nose. It was very on the nose. This lesson of the week where they both want to be captain.
Oh,
and he's a terrible.
B saying it was this bozo that she was talking to, not Caleb.
Oh, this guy. Yeah, this guy is named.
What's his name? Rainey.
Raimi. Wait, I actually have a whole list of I pulled up a list of these characters and I left it up on my screen so I would know, and I can't find it right now. But yeah, he's a very striving for his parents' attention. His name is I gotta Google it real quick. Hang on, let me get my phone up here. I gotta talk to my phone real quick. Unless one of you guys gets it faster, what's his name?
Yeah, Raimi. I was right.
Raimi?
Darren Raimi.
He's very I mean, he has major it was very on the nose how these two are competing to be the captain. They both are high achievers. They both have daddy issues. They both have family issues, right? And they both are, it was a little I don't know.
Yeah, he tells Genesis the story about how he was playing some instrument and he got one note wrong and his parents got up and left.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Genesis has not been very clear other than saying she's an admiral's daughter, but she has never talked about that kind of like a letdown from your parents, right? I'm wondering if it's going to turn out to be Odin Fair, the admiral's daughter, Odin Fair, the admiral's daughter. I don't know.
No, I don't think it. No, I don't think it's going to be him.
There's a lot of admirals in Starfleet.
Yeah.
These two. And also there's this whole will they or won't they thing, which is not that intense with them, but I wonder if they might.
Well, it's actually kind of interesting because I feel like there is kind of a will they, won't they, but she keeps giving Caleb these lingering looks. I mean, we know that Caleb's totally into what's her face.
Yeah.
But
helps into Tarima, but
Tarima.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just Genesis, the way she looks at Caleb sometimes. Like there does seem to be like, especially when he's with Tarima, there seems to be like a hint of jealousy there.
Well, he's very alpha. I mean, here's B setting us straight. So because his parents weren't responding to his messages. Yes, remember he sends his parents messages.
Oh, that's right.
That's so shitty.
That's right. He tried hacking into
and he thought his pad wasn't working. So Reno gave him a talk about people showing up for each other. And basically Genesis shows up for him. She does, right? Genesis shows up for him. Yeah. Genesis is a team player. And that's why in the end she proves to be a better captain. And he lets her have
her plan was also a lot better than his.
Yeah. Here's the mascot.
He was awful when they were trying to do that shit.
He's a terrible, terrible captain because he, as soon as they show up for the game, he says like, okay, our whole offense is me. He literally says our offense is only me. It's all me. You guys do defense. I'm the offense. Like it's the most transparently horrible leadership that it was almost too right. And then like Genesis has this other plan. And she proves to be her captain. To his credit, he backs off and cedes the captaincy to her as much as he can. I mean, that was kind of bullshit to me because I'm like, you're an objectively bad captain. Why do you have to like give it up? Why can't she just have it? Right. But whatever. They seem to come around a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
And they finally win a match, and then they get in trouble.
Oh yeah, that's great, right? And that results with them trying to move on to Prank Week Part 2, which involves them trying to impersonate the War College mascot. Also, I don't have a picture of this, but they are able to clone, what's the other guy? The dean of the War College. I forget his name, but they clone his eyeball so they can sneak in there. There's a lot of it's all about teamwork, right? Like
Very Mission Impossible.
Very Mission Impossible, right? You're right, AJ. And every person has their own role. Like Jaden, the Klingon guy, he does the whole cloning thing, and somebody else does the stealing and this and that. And it is very Mission Impossible. You're right. And it results in a victory because of these little tiny plants, which, by the way, I love those little tiny talking plants that are like, be quiet, be quiet. I love those little plants, but they remind me very much of Harry Potter, which has these. Have you watched the Harry Potter movies? There's these plants called mangroves.
Oh, yeah.
The mangrove little plants that are like little babies that you pull out of the dirt and they scream.
Yeah.
But so, how did you like this as a self-contained versus a mythology episode? I liked it.
I liked it. I mean, so far, I like all three of these episodes. Everything's. I really, like I said, I wasn't really sure what to expect because Academy has gone through so many different plans of what it was going to be.
It's been like 7 years while they were.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely different than what it was going to be when Tilly was supposed to be the lead. It is completely evolved into what we have now. Obviously,
it's involved. Like, this made me worried that it's like a teen.
Yeah, that's a terrible. Whatever picture blah 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 blah.
Yeah, the promo. Look,
promo,
I can't imagine you make the show and you don't put Holly Hunter in your promo, but whatever.
I mean, she's technically the star, but it's not about her. So I get, I mean, they're also trying to draw in a younger audience. I mean, people like you and me, we're already watching it because it's Star Trek. They're trying to draw in a younger audience, so they're going to put hot teenagers on the front of it. And...
I mean, there's a way in which I would consider Holly Hunter to be a supporting actor.
Yeah.
Because she's not in every scene, and she's supporting to that young cast. So she spends a lot of time.
He agrees. Terrible promo picture.
There's many shots in this episode of, I don't have them, of Holly Hunter. When she has the tea, she drinks tea with the dean of the War College. Yeah. And she's all laying on the couch and all slouchy and this and that. And there's a scene later where she's talking to Laura, her number one, and she's barefoot, of course. And I'm going to tell you, there are so many scenes of her bare feet on the table that are, AJ, you didn't watch the show, but in Alien Earth, there's this crazy billionaire scientist guy who's always barefoot and his feet are always on the table all the time. And I'm like, why do we have to see Holly Hunter barefoot? Look, I don't care about her feet, but they're making a huge deal about her. I feel like they're going a little too much of the Chancellor casual thing. She seems to be incapable of having any kind of decorum at all. I'm sorry, but if I had a person come to my house for coffee, I might sit up straight on the couch and not totally lay on the couch, right? I don't know. To me, I'm not a huge fan of the way they're making her. I get it. She's counterculture. She's not your typical Starfleet captain. Do I have to always see her be 100% unprofessional? She's not capable at all of being professional. I don't know. It bothers me a little bit.
She can be when she has to be.
Really? I haven't really seen it except
in the second episode when they were trying to get when they're trying to get the this is what happens when you get old.
Well, when she was on the bridge, she was decent, I guess, but she's.
It's just their race is very quirky. I mean, look at Pella.
But Pella is capable of being professional on the.
Pella doesn't have a choice. Pella's on a starship.
Yes, starship,
and to be fair, it's also 800 years before.
Yeah, 800 years before, and she's an engineering officer and has a very
How long does their race live for? Like, I know they live for a long time, but how long?
I think Holly Hunter's character is supposed to be like 40 years old.
Her character, I know her character is 400 years old. Pella, I know, is on Strange New Worlds is 800.
Yeah, I don't know what they're capable of.
My point is, I would love to see her show up eventually for an episode of Academy.
Yeah.
If they're able to leave that long.
Yeah, if she could she'd be like 2,000 years old, right? I mean, she's on Strange New Worlds, which is long before she's already like 800, and then Discovery makes like an 800-year jump. So I don't know.
Hey, Papa Socks, haven't seen you in a while.
Hey,
I like we're enjoying Academy. It's it's not one of those Star Trek shows. I shouldn't take any Star Trek show too seriously, but so far it's just fun and quirky and getting its feet. But I enjoy it. I don't listen to critics. I watch stuff for myself.
I mean, you're hearing not good. I mean, is it my favorite of all the Star Treks? No. So it's only 400. I thought you were 400. So B in this episode, the guy who's the chancellor of War College, I forget his name. I want to say it's like Cregan. He says, "Oh, you're 300 years older than me," and she says, "Oh, 352," which I think makes her. How old's that guy? Like 50. So it makes her like a little over 400 years old. I think.
Yeah. 400 is just a round number.
400 plus, I think. I don't know if I think she's 400 years old. I think she's like 800. I don't.
No, she definitely sits about around 400 in the first episode.
Do I think this show is good or not good, Papa Socks? I think it's okay. It's not my favorite. I think Strange New Worlds is my favorite of all the new Star Trek shows. I have not watched the animated ones of the live action. I think Strange New Worlds is my favorite. Show
exact number.
What?
Captain Aki is 420.
She's 420. I think that this show needs to find its footing. It's only episode 3. But I think also, Papa, this show is going for a younger audience. They're going for like the college youth experience. And I gotta give it that grace for me to try to, like, I'm old, right? It's not for me, maybe. They're trying to bring in younger people, and I gotta like have that mindset when I go into it. Right? AJ, maybe?
Yeah. You just have to remember what it was like to be.
This was high school prank week. This episode. Are they even? I mean, I know it's supposed to be college, but they feel like high school kids to me. These kids do not feel like they feel like.
Listen, sometimes there isn't that much of a difference between the two.
I guess.
Depending on what year of college you're in. So, okay, Pelia could totally show up because she is roughly 5,000 years old.
Shut up. She is not 5,000 years old. Really?
I just Googled it.
So she was around when, like,
dinosaurs.
Starfleet started in like.
Yeah. Well, she talked. I mean, we know she was around in the 80s because she talked about the 80s in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's a full Lanthanite, and Aki is half human, half Lanthanite.
Holly Hunter's half
Lanthanite.
So she might not last as long.
So apparently, Lanthanites last a really, really long time. Which means I would love to see Carol Kane just pop up for a quick cameo.
Well, because she's hanging around on Discovery, which is hanging around, right? So that'd be cool.
No, she's not. She's in Strange New Worlds.
Oh, she's on Strange New Worlds. You're right. You're right. That's how Tilly is going to come around because she's on Discovery. But
Yeah.
but you're right. You're right. Could Pella be alive because she would have survived the whole everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're still sort of like we see Pella in the 80s during Time Travel Stranger Worlds. Yes, that's right. Thanks, B. We do. For a long time. So again, I don't know, B, are you liking B? You've watched all 3 of these. I know you're a big Star Trek fan. How are you liking it? How are you liking this whole like youth approach to Star Trek?
It's fine. It's
Okay, that's good. I mean, so AJ, you watched Prodigy is like a animated about children. Are they little kids?
So Prodigy is an animated show about a bunch of kids who find a Starfleet ship, and the first season is just basically them against the bad guys. By the end of it, they have finally gotten to Starfleet. They meet Janeway. Come to find out that Chakotay was the captain of the Protostar before it went missing, and it gets much more Star Trek-y from there. Like the kids are in the academy now, or they're in training. They're like Janeway's pet project.
Okay, isn't that essentially that Star Wars show that I hated on Disney, where there were some kids who found a ship and they were gonna Skeleton Crew? I hated Skeleton Crew, right?
You didn't like Skeleton Crew? Skeleton Crew was.
I only watched 2 episodes and then I was like over it.
It got better.
Is Prodigy basically Skeleton Crew?
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right.
Prodigy is definitely better than Skeleton Crew.
Okay. So B is liking it pretty well. I wasn't so excited about watching Prank Week, but I ended up laughing a lot and cheering for the Academy kids. So that tells me I like it. Yeah, I mean, I get that it's not the most interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the show's not that deep yet.
The show is set in space and Starfleet, and you have Prank Week. So I also feel like these actors and these kids seem a little old for, I don't know. I feel like they're in college, but they all skipped high school, right? Like,
well, to be fair, Caleb never went to school.
And a lot of them didn't. Like, there's a point in this episode where I have Holly Hunter up on the screen. The chancellor is explaining to her rival war college chancellor. She's like, why are you being like my kids? Like some of them came on a cargo ship. Some of them never thought they could be at Starfleet Academy. Some of them, like he's got the elite kids and she's got the more rounded group of kids, I think, right?
Yeah. I mean, Sam's only 4 months old.
Yeah. Yeah. Papa was asking, what is the other show with the ship stuck in space and all the leadership died and the randos are running the ship? And that show is The Ark. Thank you. Yes. That show, I think, was it just kind of wasn't even canceled. It just kind of wandered off into Nowheresville, right? Never to be renewed again. But this is a little similar. Like there was an episode of this last week where there was a big emergency and all the kids seemed to be right running the emergency last week. Anyhow, it's okay. So I've seen a couple more that this episode I thought was a little bit better than the last week episode where there was so much of this drama about being attacked by Paul Giamatti and let's everybody have this thing and let's like I felt like while this is like a less kind of serious plot line this week where it's Prank Week, it was more clear through line of the character development and what everybody coming together as a team. For me,
yeah, we're still we're still getting to know the characters.
Yeah. So we'll see. We might all come to hate it by the end, right? Like, hey, it's only 3 out of 8 or
so far so good.
8, at least 8, maybe 10. Not sure.
Yeah, I think there's 10.
And there's 10, yeah. But all right, so that's all of our shows tonight, right?
That finally wraps us up. Yes.
All right, and we only have you and me in our little tiny little, our little tiny little. Let me click us into our regular display. It's a little better.
Speaking of the arc, we don't even know when that. We know it's coming this year. We just don't know when yet.
Is it even? I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
What do you mean?
The arc.
It's coming. They've announced that it's coming out in 2026. They just don't have an exact date.
All right. So I can't get us out of here because Jamie set us in here, and I can't flick us.
Oh.
So, right. Whatever Jamie did to us, we're stuck here.
I see. Whatever. It's fine.
Here we are. But all right. So everybody, thanks for coming tonight. I don't know if we have any more commenters in the chat. I feel like Holly Hunter is too phenomenal a talent to go deep. Not to go deep. Yeah, I'd like to see her go deeper. Her character is very kind of kooky and quirky right now.
Nothing happened to Silo. We're just waiting for season 3, which could be 6 years from now. The way these streaming services are.
We're waiting on Silo. Silo's definitely coming, right? That's a very high.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything about when that season 3 is coming though.
You guys are stuck in the Matrix. We are. Look, we're stuck here. We can't move ourselves. We can't.
So next week it'll be a little shorter. We'll still have Duncan Egg, Starfleet, and Night Manager.
But we're dumping. Percy Jackson is over. Runaway's over. But we are going to have some Wonder Man stuff going on. So.
Oh yeah, we'll be back tomorrow apparently.
Probably back tomorrow to watch Wonder Man. So apparently Jamie's gonna watch the Discord. Jamie might do a watch party so everybody can watch Wonder Man, and then we are gonna jump online and talk about the first maybe 3-ish episodes, right?
Yeah, Jamie said 4 was too many.
Wonder Man's only 8 episodes, so we're gonna stretch it out a little bit. It is
I'm not looking forward to this.
Well, it might be good. Might be good. We never know. We haven't watched the show, so we'll see what it is when it drops. But it's part of the Marvel. That's that Marvel banner called Marvel. I forget what it is, but it's supposed to be like Echo, like 6 and 8 and done. We'll see.
It's gonna be a one and done. Nobody's gonna want more after this anyway.
It's one and done.
And it's not gonna tie into anything.
All right, and so anyway, if you weren't here in the beginning, keep an eye on Jamie's Discord and also on sci-fivision because there's a whole bunch of interviews coming out, right? Including AJ interviewed Odin Fair for Star Trek, right?
Yep.
And some other stuff Jamie's got going on. So everybody,
and actually, after next week, Jamie can finally put up my interview with Diego Calva, who played Teddy.
Oh my God, I can't wait for that. I've been waiting for that interview. You gave a
that was the thing because we talked about all 6 episodes, so it had to wait because stuff that happens in the finale is in the interview, so we had to wait.
Yeah. So all right, can't wait for that.
All right, everybody, thank you.
Kids.
Long show tonight. Thanks for sticking with us.
We will tomorrow, baby.
See you tomorrow. Unless something changes, we will see you tomorrow.
For Wonder Man. All right, kids.
Go watch Wonder Man.
Good night.
Maybe.